Welcome to this episode of
We're just getting right into it. We go. Where are we? Who are we? We don't know.
In your
we didn't
defense,
get to hear.
In your defense, I was a spring-loaded action, ready to fucking go. And then
Where
that
are we?
happened.
Who are you? Who am I?
And then there's me. I'm like, wait, fuck, we're supposed to do that.
That was fucking incredible.
Ready in any capacity, and that genuinely broke me.
Holy
Welcome to
shit.
Outcast and Outclassed, everyone.
Yep.
Pew, pew, pew. Bang, bang, bang.
Award-winning.
Award-winning. This
That's
is
you.
no different than any other
You've made
day.
it.
So, welcome to
did it.
Thursdays.
I'm not going to top that off. So first, some announcements, Maria.
Hey, everybody. Did you know that we have two fantastic sponsors for this show? You've heard maybe one of them if you were here earlier in the stream, The Crafty Gamer. The Crafty Gamer is a fantastic place of business where you can get all sorts of delicious smelling candles for your place, such as the one that Syrup is holding right there. If you go to their website, thecraftygamer.com, you can see that right now they're having a holiday sale. It's buy 3, get 1 free right now. So, like, what a perfect opportunity to order from a small business. Order now so that you can get it and not stress people out for your holiday season. Also using the code WafflesMaple to save a little money, to let them know that we sent you. And then you get good smelling things for either yourself or people you care about. It's really great. It's super cool. It's win-win for everybody. So, Crafty Gamer, thecraftygamer.com. Go say hi. Other people you should go say hi to is Eldritch Osiris Games. Woo! They're fantastic. They're wonderful. They are the first Pathfinder2e workers co-op in ttrpg history. You can find them on eldritchosirisgames.com. What? But you should also check out and sign up for the launch of their Pathfinder universe of mech and magic. It was a very successful Kickstarter and will be releasing when it's released. But also, the two fantastic people on this stream, Waffles and Syrup, are going to be writing some stuff for it. Oh my gosh. So go sign up. Yeah. So go.
I'm not going to say anything just yet, but I actually have some kind of exciting
Does it have to
news
do with
about that?
mechs?
Does have to do with finding mechs or mech finding, maybe.
Wow.
We'll see.
To find out more, everyone, go to eldritchosirisgames.com. Sign up for everything to do with their Kickstarter. Keep an eye on all their stuff. Go buy some stuff while you're there. Support all kinds of creators and the like. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That was fabulous. That's
the best one you've ever done, honestly. I think
honestly,
Maria,
it was superb.
truthfully.
Thank you.
The best
Thank
wording ever.
Yes.
Oh
Best
my
wording
gosh.
of words.
Recovered.
to word.
Thanks. I haven't talked a lot today. I've been alone in my house. I had a lot of words stirred up.
That makes
I
sense.
love it.
The camera slowly
Great.
pans to the water bowl on your desk.
Yeah. Is that why? Did you accidentally drink out of it?
Also a plate of cat
bowl.
food, so don't even worry about it.
No.
Okay, we're good.
I'm prepared for the stream, everybody.
Maria's a method actor. Maria's a method actor.
True in character.
They have to eat
Sorry.
cat food to get into
Let
Italian.
me start
gotta.
yipping. Let me just yip a lot really fast.
With that, because this is gonna keep going, I know it. I get to say, hey, stick
Hey.
around, because we'll see you in class.
Let's go.
Welcome back. Welcome in. Hello. I don't know. Whatever entrance you want. I suppose we're in class now, and I suppose that means that we should pick back pick back up.
We're picking
where
each other off one by one.
Yep. Yeah.
By
Oh,
one.
we're playing tea cake and death again?
Backward.
Fall down.
Battle
We'll
Royale
pick back
time.
up where we left off. Those are the words I wanted to say in that order.
Sure.
So, where did we last leave off? I had to really careful. I'm just going to focus on my words for a hot second. It's
got
one
to
of those
too.
days.
We
So-
killed an Impeshi.
With kindness.
Destroyed it.
And friendship.
With
Murder.
friendship.
In
Like a Mortal
cold
Kombat 2
blood.
friendship.
Yes. So we picked back up on y'all at Oba's Wondrous Creatures in the back where mayhem and hazardous animals galore were out and about due to some questionable, nefarious doings that occurred relatively recently, likely the night before you arrived, and you were midway through dealing with all of those animals, and indeed you came upon this rare nope, I want to say legend lore, but like
Legendary?
but I didn't want to be like legendary as in like it's because it's like a thing in Pathfinder2e. So there are legends about this creature.
This thing of legend.
This thing of legend, thank you. Yes, an Impeshi, and you were handling it like you did all the other animals, and then kind of recognizing some of the anger in its eyes, Taliatia, you changed the course of this Impeshi's fate, if you will, by taking the path of friendship and working together as a beautiful team. You managed to calm it down enough to let it off and out into the proverbial sunset as you all walked the opposite way out into the sunset as well together. You did talk to Oba, who clearly was frazzled enough about whatever was going on that she was unwilling to tell you who it was that mayhaps did this, but I think it was pretty clear to you all that there was something going on there. But she was scared to tell you. With that, you make your way back to the school, which is where we can pick back up. So I ask you now, do you wish to, we can hand wave it, or you can, if there's anything in particular you wish to do, feel free. Otherwise, I do believe at some point you wanted to check in with Janatimo. That can be right now. That could be after you get some rest. Y'all let me know.
I think if we're kind of like walk back close to the campus, I think Hideaki would sort of say, if we're not too tired, we should probably try to, while it's still fresh in our minds, give old Janatimo a quick update.
I think that's a good idea. It would only take us a few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan.
Yes, that would be the next step.
Sweet. Hideaki, good plan. Let's go.
Excellent. And so I'm assuming you head your way to campus, crossing some rivers as you make your way back, and we can go right up to his office if you'd like.
Hideaki fist pumps up, and then you hear a small groan. You're like, oh, yeah. Someone please remind me to stop moving when I'm injured. I really should not have done that. That really sucked a lot.
Are you okay?
Yep. Yep. Just need to not be too excited until tomorrow, maybe.
And numerically, what does that look like for Hideaki?
I forgot. I don't know because I leveled it, so it just went. I have no idea.
Got it.
But I think I want to say probably around 60%. We'll say.
Well, you mentioned something
awful.
just now, so why don't we we
Oh,
zoom right
boy.
on into that.
Fuck me.
No, that's A-okay.
Announcement even?
Special announcement, if
Because I was
you will.
about to look at it, was like, oh, do I have any, like, how many spells do I have left? Oh, apparently all of them? That's not right.
Yeah.
So, this GM, this one right here, me, forgot to mention at the end of last session, congratulations, you all level up.
Yeah.
Level 5.
Sorry, I blew it for you.
No, that's okay. It works out because I almost forgot again as we went into this. So as you make your way to Janatimo, we'll say, of course, you're still a little bit hurt, and we'll say that, you know, yes, you're still a little bit of hit points down and some spell slots down. However, I would love to take the briefest, quickest peeks at something you're really excited about this level up. You can give me one thing that you're really excited about, and you don't have to. If you want to say I'm gonna show it when it happens, that's cool too.
Fireball.
But I just fireball. Oh shit. Okay, great.
Yep, fireball. That's a good one. I have, obviously, I got level 3 spells, like I think everyone did. I have a teamwork spell that's a reaction now.
Ooh.
That's all I'm gonna say. I can't tell you what it is.
Oh. Teamwork arc.
Does it rhyme with tire ball?
Nope.
Yeah,
Fire-
that's
Fireball?
teamwork.
Nope.
Teamwork.
Is that like
Teamwork.
Is that like
Teamwork
tether
means-
ball, but you put a tire on it
No,
instead?
right,
Oh my god.
Like a
Perfect.
tire swing tether ball combination.
That sounds
because we can only
incredible,
afford one
actually.
rope.
Eyes up.
21 AC, baby. That's what I'm excited about.
Let's go. Amazing.
I also got level 3 spells. Arafe is moving a little bit more towards damage spells, but I have one that is interesting that only Syrup knows about, so.
Oh, I also have
I-
level 3 spells, but that
Well,
I'm just excited
yes.
mostly about the 21 AC.
Actually, interestingly, this is the first level that you, Hideaki, lose first level spells. Is
I
that
do.
correct?
That is correct.
That blows my mind.
Yep.
It's
Indeed.
wild.
I do not have
I think
any
that's
first level
fascinating
spell
because it
slots.
sounds to me like your connection with Overnoza grows stronger yet, so strong that it is hard to hold back a little bit, which is interesting.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Fireball.
Mhm.
So that
That's why I
being
didn't want
said,
it to be a secret, because I was just like, I'm just gonna yell fireball.
and yes, I do believe so. Ark, have you also lost your first level?
I have, but I have others that, for reasons, that kind of
okay.
stick around.
Understood. Well, that being said, we zoom back in as you all one more time land on Janatimo's office doorstep.
Ow.
Office / abode / teacher visiting space. I'm assuming you all knock on the door. Unless somebody's like, no, I scream at the top of my lungs. Okay.
It would be on brand.
I knock.
Perfect. It is probably at this point, you guys went in the morning, so I'd probably say it's like getting to actually be afternoon now. Maybe a little hungry, as it is getting towards that lunchtime. And the door opens. Janatimo is standing there in his usual garb, and he smiles brightly at you all. Hello. Welcome. Is this? Yes. No. Come on in. And kind of steps back and lets you all in.
Walk in.
And you see that as you kind of filter into his office, there is actually food on, like, sitting on top of his desk where he's like he was like in the middle of eating, but he seems to not really care.
Do you want us to come back later when you're done?
No. This is just something I nabbed from the dining hall, so that's okay. Have you all eaten? Do you want to grab some food and come back?
No.
Well, we can probably go after this.
Yeah.
no problem. What's how can I help you?
Well,
I can tell you've been through some combat today.
can you?
A few of us are scraped up, Airface glowing. It's fine.
I forgot that, like, I kind of forgot that Tal and Hideaki are like
I'm at half
covered in
health,
like
yeah.
soot. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of tell that, like, at first he was like, no, come back later, but then sees the state you're in, but he's not mentioning it. He's just like, no, yeah, it's totally fine. Come on in. And no, it's never mind. Go get what's up.
We finished.
The fight.
The
What you asked us to do.
Griffins. Yeah.
The Griffins. Oh, and
Well, as much as we could.
did you find more of them that you decided to beat up?
no,
No.
that would be
No.
that would have been a lot easier than what we ran into. Certainly, I would imagine.
As I
But-
always say, the best stories start at the beginning. So, and he goes and like takes a seat. Tell me what happened.
So we tracked down our missing griffins to a particularly fascinating location. What was her name? Oda again? Is that right?
Oba's Wondrous Creatures.
Yep, that one. And as a matter of fact, speaking of wondrous creatures, there was actually a lot of different things in like kind of in disarray. As a matter of fact, we believe that the griffins were let out, sort of on purpose, and by sort of I mean completely on purpose.
That's
Bye.
most everyone.
With these.
Yep.
And then Ark will show the lock picks.
He will take the lockpicks, but kind of a little distracted. He's like, "Oh, Oba, let them all out."
No, someone snuck. Someone came in with those, presumably, and opened a lot of the cages for. Well, not cages, enclosures. There were some lions that got out that were a little bit tricky to get back in. And
Yucky points at Tal's wound.
yeah, and there was something that Ark. What was the thing that turned one of them into stone?
The basilisk?
Right.
A basilisk.
Yeah, there's a lion
Yeah.
statue now.
Yeah, I don't know if there's someone who could take care of that from the school. Because apparently you need a lot of
assume that-
stuff.
I can send a message if Oba does not have the means herself.
Oba seems to be a trader of exotic creatures. She has it on purpose.
Right. A basilisk is not something I would assume to be around here. So I was assuming it was part of the wondrous creatures that she has. So lions and a basilisk, and now all of these were out of their cages.
Well, thankfully
So
the Ark got the
Enclosure.
basilisk. Ark kept it in its enclosure so it didn't get out and turn everyone into stone. So that's good.
So it sort of was open, the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I see. So in the effort to find some answers about the griffins and our Anadi friends, you have gone into the city. You've fought wondrous animals, assisted a member of the city of Natambu in securing her work.
And let a very important creature free.
It
Yep.
escaped.
She doesn't know that though, so don't tell her.
Yep. This really cool, dangerous, kind of awesome lightning.
Well, it was only
thunder,
dangerous
flying
because it was trapped. It felt it was called an impeshi. I don't know
Yep.
if you know what that is.
Oh, I have heard many stories of the wondrous Impeshi, yes. You've seen one yourself in person, here.
Or have we?
I'm a little jealous. That
Well,
sounds...
it went into the jungle, so it's not here
It's-
anymore.
probably better that way. And you see, like, as you all were starting to, like, kind of, like, not argue, but, like, no, it was, like, this kind of a inter-talking, he's leaned back and he has this smile on his face. I have to say, you have went above and beyond, not just to help me get some answers, but members of the city of Nchampu as well. And have you found any additional information as to why these animals were freed? And kind of waves the lockpick. This is unusual.
We know that Oba knows. That's it.
Yeah.
Oba's a
Like-
little reluctant to share that information. It seems someone may have it out for Oba, but
Yeah,
she was
perhaps-
not willing to share that with us.
Certainly a
Perhaps
message.
someone's trying to teach Oba a painful lesson, is what that sounds like. But I'm sure. Well, I suppose I don't know who it would be, but if Oba did not wish to ask for your help after you assisted her already, perhaps those things sort themselves out, and if not, we will keep our eyes out and make sure that there's not anywhere else that we can assist her with.
So that reminds me of two things. One, I don't really know how like jurisdiction works, but we were kind of, well, first of all, the fact that like it happened and she doesn't have like any hired help is a problem. I think the debate is whether or not she should be in business at all. So that's one thing.
In that business.
Yes, agreed. Totally. If she was in the business of really cute parakeets, I think we would not be having this conversation. So that's one thing. Number two, my assumption, currently being built into a hypothesis, is the likelihood of whoever was sending her a message probably has a similar relationship with other people. So I bet this is a little bigger than one person trying to go after another person.
Mm-hmm.
You think so? What
Yes.
makes you think that?
So, Tal and I, we were on a really cool boat, and we ran into someone that ran into a bit of gambling debt. And
Specifically with a group.
right, Now-
Undisclosed group that they were
Right.
hesitant to talk about.
right. So unsure if there's a connection, but there could be.
All right. Oh, that's it?
Yep. For now.
Well,
Again, hypothesis.
far be it for me to deny a hypothesis. However, unfortunately, we are in the business of keeping the citizens safe and helping where we can. There is very limited. The relationship between the Magaambya and the city is definitely one of mutual benefit. Should we tread too far, there could be. It is the status quo that we must maintain. And where we go where we can help, interfering with people's business, and he's referring to Oba here, is perhaps not one that would be looked upon fondly. Though, again, you are all welcome to keep your eyes on her dealings if you have time to do so. But that being said, we'll do our best to see if there's other things going on. But I think you have gone above and beyond my request personally. And
One
it's
thing-
honestly quite impressive.
About that too, Oba is aware that we fought her griffins, and she thinks the school may owe her money for that. So just know that there may be an invoice coming in that she thinks need to be paid. We did not tell her that we would.
Well,
But
I'm grateful
just so
for
you
that,
know.
but honestly, I won't be the one dealing with that, so
No,
it's all
no.
good.
Right?
I'm sure it'll make its way to Zokon eventually, and he's quite adept at handling that. Very well. Give me 1 second. And he
Sure.
stands up and kind of heads to the back, and you hear some shuffling.
Did y'all see that he's eating waffles and peanut butter?
I was about to ask what's on the plate.
Oh.
Well,
Are
Oh,
they just like
well, that was
waffle
waffles and peanut
sticks,
butter.
though? Are they waffle
Um,
are they eating them in just a different manner?
Is it like a
Just,
peanut butter sandwich but with waffles?
They took all the they took the waffle, but then like cut out each individual waffle square. So now it's just a plate of just like teeny tiny, just like squares.
They're
This is so elaborate. This is something you must have really wanted at some point in your life, Maria.
I hate
you.
I'm gonna make a controversial yet true statement. I hate eating waffles the way that they are because they are too cumbersome.
Ooh.
They are big.
I love waffles though.
No, I see this temptation to go down the rabbit hole of talking
And
food,
done.
and I shan't.
all right. Hear me out though. Just one rabbit hole thing.
All right.
What if you made French toast sticks out of waffles?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm down.
Yeah,
That's a manageable form of. I can stick
Yes.
that in my
It's a
mouth
bite.
without it doing damage to my tiny mouth.
I know what I'm gonna do tomorrow morning.
Anyway, all that to say,
So bad for you.
Hideaki steals a bite of food.
Oh my god.
Hideaki, we're going to eat.
No. We're gonna
Just
go
swipe
get our own food.
like a piece of food off of his plate.
This is why we're not invited places.
We're not invited places?
Actually, yeah, no, I'm gonna take this where it's really messy. Like whatever it is, it has like syrup. It's leaving your hand like super sticky. There's like like powdered sugar all over your mouth now. Like or whatever it is, it is super messy and leaves evidence.
No, it doesn't, because I tap the hat of the Magi and cast Prestidigitation.
Amazing. Hide the evidence. So as you prestidigitate the remains of food evidence away from you, Janatimo returns with 4 sort of rolled up little pieces of paper that he hands to each of you. I figured I could hand this directly as opposed to flying them at you like last time. I heard they interfered with some of your pets, Arafe.
It's okay. They're just a little defensive.
Speaking of, we did clear the space for the Anadis. They are making their home now at the beneath the Hababe building. But the snake that was underneath there, did you had interest in keeping it? Is that correct?
If it's still there.
No, it's not. Hold on.
Okay.
Actually, I believe Corride has it right now. But I did let her know that you might want to swing by and pick it up.
I will probably go pick that up. Yes.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, with that settled. Right. These things. Well, they are exciting news.
Hideaki
I
opens it up.
open mine up. Yeah.
Yep.
Our next job.
All right.
On this paper, you all read. It is the same for each of you. My dear pupil, once again, you've exceeded the Magaambya's high expectations of its students. You've shown that you are ready to expand the scope of your connections and your magical studies, learning how magic and the world both shape each other. Because of this, I am pleased to advance you to the rank of conversant. You will represent the school to the outside world while you continue your studies. This representation is significant, and it reflects the trust the Magaambya is ready to place in you. It is true that your advancement is unusually rapid, but your services and exploits have been unusually admirable. I, and many others, feel this advancement is long overdue. Please give the following 3 invitations to any associates you wish to attend our small ceremony to commemorate your promotion. Join us at dusk 2 weeks from today. I'll ask you to speak briefly about how you see magic being most useful in the world, so please think about that in the meantime. I know I'll be telling your tales one day, Teacher Janatimo. And you note...
I have to say, the minute you said ceremony, I saw all of our faces go, ugh.
I went, oh God, I have 3 invitations. How the hell am I going to get all of my family here in 2 weeks?
And you do, so 2 things. You do have 3 little pieces of paper that are kind of wrapped in this with you, with a note. You also note, though, that these messages, though penned, the same for each of you, there's no way he wrote that just now. And he must have had them waiting.
Ready, yeah.
And
This
ready.
guy.
Okay, and Star has a question because you said ceremony, and I went to instant panic and kind of like heard the screeching of, the flashbang
Yes.
that went off. So we need to have
PTSD, yes.
we need to have some speech ready. Is that what he
Oh,
said?
indeed, yes, yes. He asks that you will each speak briefly about how you see magic being most useful in the world. And that is something for you to think about.
Okay.
I'm getting eyes from my players because I, casually made everybody think about this already.
I'm so glad that you did that because
I
I
did too.
just sat here being like, what the hell are we supposed to talk about? And then you said that and I said, I recognize that from DM.
Yep.
Indeed. However, that is 2 weeks from today, and that is not now. And just kind of giving you the lay of what you would know being in the Magaambya. Yes, he mentions this is a significantly fast-paced advancement. This is rare. This is different and odd.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I really needed some good news today.
You've earned it.
It makes sense.
And like Hideaki's like trying to hide that he's welling up, and it's failing completely.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
Well, I will see you in 2 weeks.
Sure.
Oh.
Sure. Yeah.
Who did? He kind of hands the lockpick back.
Art takes that.
Okay.
Really quick. Hey, Tal, do you want to see if Teacher Janatimo can help us out with that staff?
Oh, the staff I've just been holding this entire time. We were given this. Can you tell us anything about it?
Oh. Well, certainly in your studies you've learned how to identify magic. Show me. And you can take 10 minutes to, I believe 10 minutes. Let me look.
Can
Sounds
anybody
right.
do that?
Well,
I thought it was a
it's
spell.
just
That's why I offer. That's why I
it's
mentioned it this way.
something
That's
we can all
also-
just do, isn't it? It's one of those, if we sit with it for a while, we can study it. It's like the identify spells, like it just does it much faster.
Yes. You can just spend time with it. And
To be
pick it up.
fair, Tal has never done that with any of magical shit that we've gotten ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We-
No,
we
That's
that's
like,
usually
I'll
totally
just put
fair.
this on and something's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
I usually kind of give it to y'all because
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is an available action.
I feel like when we pick magic things up, we just kind of look at it and then we look at Arc like, what is it?
You know magic stuff, right?
You smart.
Right. Okay. And I think Tal will like clear off a space on the floor. Because I imagine that there's a little bit of like a ritualistic rigmarole to go with it.
So rules is written. This is technically a secret check. This is something that I would roll using your modifier, and I would because it allows for like I can tell you anything. But in this case, because we've done it for multiple times in other areas, this you learn is a mentalist staff.
Okay.
It is a polished wooden staff bearing a swirling motif that's like a little bit kind of like the folds of a brain. It's interesting.
I like
You get a +2 circumstance bonus check to identifying mental magic. And you you can cast some spells from it, which we can go through later.
I like it.
With that, you eventually clear out of Janatimo's office, just in time to hear him go, "Did someone take a bite of my..." The door closes. And you head on out. You can go eat some food, you can go decompress from this, and we'll slowly, unless anybody has anything in particular, You have plenty of time to figure out who you're inviting and all of that jazz. We will slowly zoom out in our timey-wimey goodness over the next 2 weeks. For starters, because it is long overdue and it is my bad, we need to do some branch studying. So we're gonna take that off the plate right now. So within these 2 weeks, we do need to progress a little bit in our general branch studies. I would like to ask each person, I'm assuming because most of y'all wish to do something else in your downtime, everybody will be studying and not cramming.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Cal wants to cram, actually.
Ew.
A little bit inspired.
You, I know, were asking to do some other research.
Oh, you're
though.
right. Just kidding. My bad.
You right. You right.
It's been a hot sec. Just
I mean, you
kidding.
could say like, nah, I'm good. I just want to keep getting, my branch, which is valid. Okay, so given that, shall we all roll?
Yeah, what do we roll?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I forget what we roll.
I think it's different for each thing. I want to say Cascade Bears can roll Arcana.
I think Rain Scribe is
so-
nature.
You give everything you have to your studies in keeping with your branch. Choose either your primary or secondary branch. Let's start with that. Who's just yell it out? Primary.
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 Cascade Bearers.
primary.
Rain Scribe.
Beautiful. And then you can attempt a skill check with one of the branch's associated skills, according to a standard DC of the branch's level, blah, blah, blah. So, Cascade Bearers, you can roll Arcana, Occultism, or Religion. Rain Scribes, you can roll Medicine, Nature, or Survival.
Not even a contest.
I'm hero point.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, boy.
I am too.
Ooh, okay.
So, do you want to? Shall we reveal?
I will do so. Give me 2 seconds. I just
Yeah,
want to get
take
my
your time, take
DCs
your
up
time,
here.
I roll. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm also gonna hero point.
Damn, I'm the only one that didn't hero point on this one.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
could've
rolled a
kept it.
2. I would really like to not use that.
Yeah, I rolled a
That's valid.
Hell yeah, hell
4
yeah.
for my first one, so.
Excellent. I'm sure that would end very, very well. So you are all trained in this, correct? Everybody's trained in these skills at minimum.
I'm an expert.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
I'm
an
an
expert.
expert.
Gorgeous. Let's go one by one. Let's start with the one Rain Scribe.
25.
25. Amazing. So let's standard of the branches level. So you are currently what, level 2 in the branch? So it is a success by 1. So you succeed in your studies admirably. Increase the level of the branch you chose by 1. In doing so, you are now level 3 in that branch. You get dedicated attendant. What that means is you now get the Magaambyan attendant dedication feat. We can look this up later, but what that allows is based on the branch and everything, but you get an additional cantrip, I believe, to add to your collection.
Excellent.
And I think some other stuff, but feel free to look it up. It is the Magaambyan attendant dedication feat. Next up, the Cascade Bearers. We'll just go bottom up from me, starting with Hideaki.
Utilizing the great news as fuel, Hideaki got a 31.
Woot! Damn. So that is certainly a critical success. Incredible results. You ace every exam and cause a stir. The level of the branch increases by 2. So you are at what level now?
4.
4. Excellent. So similarly, you get the dedicated attendant, so you also will get that feat for your branch, and you get a skill feat. So at 4th level in a branch, you uncover hidden techniques that grant you extra benefits from your branch's associated skills. You gain a skill feat that requires the trained rank in one of the branches associated skills. So what that means is you're going to get a skill feat in so any skill feat of Arcana, Occultism, or Religion. So you can look through your skill feats later, but each one has to be either the one that you pick has to be either Arcana, Occultism, or Religion associated. Maria.
25.
25. So that is going to be a regular success. So +1, so you're going to get the Magaambyan Attendant dedication feat. Arc.
From a 17 to a 29 with my hero point.
Nice.
29. That is a critical success, so you get +2 as well. So you're going to get both the Magaambyan Attendant dedication feat and the skill feat of your associated skill, which are the same skills, I believe.
Yep. Hideaki's not allowed to go past me anymore.
The not rivalry continues.
Not rivals.
I like to imagine that as you attend your classes, perhaps bolstered by the forward progress in your, knowing that you're going to become conversants soon, you put your head down and kind of like try to prove yourself even academically, and then the two of you, as always, try to outbest each other. I love that.
And Arc wins. I'm just kidding.
Motherfucking never.
Study off. Amazing. Is there any flavor or otherwise that you wish to eat? This is not necessary, that Tal or Arafe wish to provide their sort of studying and how that goes over the course of the weeks, interspersed by everything you'll be doing in the other downtime activities.
Yeah, I guess not really, but in the meantime, while I am studying, do I get that snake?
Yes, you do.
Yes! I have another pet!
You absolutely do. You can swing by Karita's office, and there is this moment where she's just like, this thing? Yeah, I was supposed to taking care of it. And then, like, she kind of makes sure that you know how to take care of it, and she's, like, a little reluctant, but she does know that Janatimo, like, said you were going to pick it up, and she absolutely lets you.
So now we
no
have a
problem.
snake in our tree as well.
Excellent. Excellent.
I'm that player.
That evil laugh. That needs to be a sound bite. Did everybody hear that?
I did, and it's beautiful.
The collection grows. Excellent. I do like to imagine that both Arafe and Tal, me knowing a little bit about what's coming about the downtime activities that you chose, both of you are actually rather more like torn in half in terms of you're also focusing on a lot of your own independent study. So it does make sense that perhaps you're not as focused on your schoolwork as Arc and Hideaki are.
Yeah, Tal is very focused on academic pursuits, but not all of them are related to school.
Exactly.
Yep.
Perfect. Amazing.
Exact second to that conversation.
Perfect. All right. So what we'll do now is we'll start going through some other downtime activities. The way, because we're focusing kind of individually, feel free after we kind of resolve your independent downtime activities to intersperse if you wish to kind of rejoin the group for something or anything like that. You're welcome to do so. This isn't like the one-on-ones where it's just like one per person. Like if you learn some stuff, you can absolutely ask for that moment of just like one of the dinners or whatever. I want to and X, Y, or Z and have that group conversation. So it'll be a little timey-wimey, but we'll have some fun with it over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Excellent. Who would like to start? Arc.
As we
Hi.
all jump up at once.
I'll start.
Yeah, go for it.
Listen, I was gonna say one of the names, and I did it randomly.
I only didn't say anything because I typically always raise my hand first. So.
No worries.
I would like to start, please. Thanks.
Oh, well, in that case, Hideaki. No, kidding.
Let's go!
So Ark, let's talk about what you've chosen for your downtime activity.
Yeah, Ark's going to spend a little bit of gold and craft some scrolls.
Ooh. So some crafting.
Yeah.
From what I recall, when it comes to crafting, specifically scrolls, these are batch, because they're one-time uses. They are crafted in batches of 4.
As long as it is the same spell, yes.
So as you go about to do this and you gather your supplies that you need, whether you get that from a little bit from within the city or from Zocon, you can go ahead and spend your gold on the supplies.
Yep.
And then we take a look at where Ark would go to do so. And I believe that would most likely be the Between, one of the buildings on campus. The Between, named for one of the, as all of the buildings are, and you all would be very well aware of this at this point, that the buildings are named after the 10 magic warriors. The Between is named for Carmine Jaws, the hyena who looks between. It is a makerspace of a kind. It's available to all students, but it's mostly used by the Cascade Bearers, for those to kind of like craft their spells and craft in general. And it's a building space that has, those workbenches. It has a lot of magical supplies. It helps. It would be the easiest to space for making these scrolls. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he would enjoy it there. As long as it's not loud.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of go at off times. There's, of course, like, this is over the course of a few days as you begin your process to craft these scrolls. The space is used, during the lunch hours. It can get a little bit busier. Some people choose to, like, skip lunch and kind of just work on their projects. But later on in the evening, it's usually more empty. The building is still available, and so you can go, whenever it is quiet for you.
Yeah. And during this, he will be messing with his staff now and then on a specific way to kind of magically attach these scrolls to his staff.
Okay, interesting. So let's start by looking at the crafting itself. These are, let's see, no, this is not earning income. I'm trying to figure out the DC here.
I don't even know if it's a DC, to be honest.
Spend 4 days. Yeah, you must spend 4 days at work, at which point you attempt a crafting check. The DC to craft it is based on its level, rarity, and other circumstances. This is a level 2 spell. Is that correct?
It is. It's a level 1 spell, but I'm casting it at level 2. If that makes any sense.
Yes. So you would be needing to craft a spell scroll at level 2, though.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, I have my DC set. But let's, before we roll, kind of zoom in on these days in which you're working.
Yeah.
You begin your process, and day 1 is just kind of organizing your material, obtaining your materials, and kind of getting set up in the Between. And you have your little workshop bench, and you have the space, and you begin to set it up. People come and go, not many. You found a quiet time. Day 2. You continue the process. People come and go. And you do notice a familiar face sit across the room, working on their own crafting. Ignacy.
Oh, gosh.
And you notice, despite the fact that you're focused on your crafting here, that every once in a while you look up and he looks away. Do you focus on your work? Do you call him out? You can continue. You don't have to. You can work.
I think Ark would be like a little confused about it, and that would probably like step them up to look more often. And if he just looks away more often, then eventually Ark will probably say something.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of like a slight game of chicken at first. But as you do it more frequently and it's like a bit more obvious that you're trying to catch him, he kind of maintains eye contact with you. Glances down at his stuff, picks his stuff up, and moves over to your bench and sits down.
Did you need something?
No.
Would you like me to move? Do you like this spot?
No.
Okay. Ark will go back to crafting.
All right. You continue to craft. And Ignacy, kind of like opposite you onto like the side of this like longer workbench, crafts by you. And it continues in like silence for a while. And this is, again, multiple days of crafting is going to be a few hours, like multiple hours of this.
Yeah.
And eventually he makes a comment. You're trying to attach it to your staff.
Yes.
Does that increase your efficiency in casting it?
Well, I already channel spells through my weapon, and I don't have much magical prowess to do a lot during the day, so I'm learning how to do it through a scroll.
Makes sense. Lapses into silence for a little bit longer. Eventually pipes back up. What do you think of Hideaki?
What do you mean?
Their combat prowess.
Well, they're still alive.
What of Taliathia's?
Same.
Arafe?
Same. I think they're still alive.
How would you rank them comparatively in combat prowess, including yourself?
I think each of them would be relatively equal. Are we just talking combat prowess or potential?
Let's include potential.
Seeing the chat go crazy. I'm not ready. Yeah, Ark begins to go through. I think Tal is probably the weakest in combat prowess, but has potential to do some scary things that I've seen. I believe Arafe is the next, but probably has the most potential out of everyone except for me. And then I think Hideaki is the closest to myself, but I think his potential is attached to his dragon, which is, I wouldn't want to be like that. And then I'm in a different class than them.
You see Ignacy kind of smile at this. Right. I heard that you were being advanced to conversant.
Yes.
Did they say why?
We went above and beyond what they expected for us and represent the Magaambya well. He basically quotes the page.
Yeah. So focus on the city. What did you do?
We were sent to learn about some griffins, and when we found the place that they escaped from, we found out why and put 2 lions, a basilisk back in their cage, and fought an impeshi, but then it ran away from us.
So, due to the fact that You caught the eye of Janatimo, you were afforded opportunities.
Sure. Have you not caught his eye?
No,
Why not?
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Doesn't seem to be combat prowess.
That's probably the best place to start. Not combat prowess, but figuring out why you have not caught his eye.
Right, well... You're writing that rune wrong. He, like, just, like, comes over and, like, points to something that you were, like, while you were talking. And it is actually not that you're writing it wrong at all. It is that, like, you weren't done.
Yeah.
But he leans forward and like, tries to, like, finish it, basically. You tell me more about your exploits that caught Janatimo's eye, and I'll help you craft more. Deal?
I don't think I need your help, but sure.
And he kind of nods. And so now together, with Ignacy's help, you're going to be able to craft basically 2 batches.
Sheesh.
And unless you wish to change that in any way, like he can do that, or you can kind of use double manpower for something else if you can think of something else.
Could I instead craft this? And you can say no because it's a gold requirement technically. But could I instead craft level 3 spells? 1 batch of level 3 of the same spell.
Ooh. Together in 1 batch is like kind of like as wonky as it is, but just for ease and against spell requirements, you would be providing the 3rd level spell still each time.
Yep.
Because to craft these, you'd have to do so. So then, I'll let you do 1 batch where 2 2nd level and 2 3rd levels.
Okay, I'll just do double batches then.
Okay, sounds good.
8 level 2 spells basically.
Okay. And so he kind of begins to help you. And over time, throughout your conversations, there's a couple of things that you kind of pick up just from... You've been a teacher in terms of combat, your club. You've also watched your teacher back home, and you know how you've learned, where you mimic your movements. And even though Ignacy here offered to help you, you see him watching you and studying you. Specifically, your process, how you're thinking, how you go about these things. And there's this eagerness to how he's watching you. Like he wants to figure out the formula of your success. You have the continued open space to talk to him further. Is there anything that you would like to talk to him about?
I think during the middle of it, at some point, Ark will eventually say, do you want me to recommend you to Janatimo?
Have I done something worthy of your recommendation?
I think your book is very interesting.
Just my book?
Yes. You don't let much else out.
I think I've told you more than I've told anybody in this school. I'll take it as a compliment. Sure.
Okay.
And he doesn't say thank you.
Yeah.
But continues.
Yep. Yeah, that's it, really.
Eventually he will ask, what do you need in exchange?
Nothing. I'm just going to tell Janatimo honest thoughts about you, and if he decides that you're interesting, then I'm sure you'll catch his eye.
But what's in it for you?
you'll be stronger later.
He like watches you for a second, like pausing the crafting. Interesting.
You're watching me because I'm better, right?
I'm watching you because you're better at catching the eyes of teachers.
I don't think I'm catching the eye of a teacher right now. Yet you're here.
Consider it a live study.
Sure. So you're a student.
Sure.
Okay.
And we kind of zoom out of that.
And then if it matters, do you, like, when I go, do you want to know, like, what I say when I go to Janatimo, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Before you do, why don't we just finish the crafting and why don't you go ahead and make me that crafting roll? And Ignacy is technically going to do his own for the double batch, so I will roll as well.
22.
That's a natural fucking 20 on my day.
Let's go.
Perfect. So with that, let me look here. Where's my DC? Okay, you definitely passed the DC as well. Perfect. So with that, each of you spell level 2. So it's a item level 3, and that's 12 gold each. And you do note that like the second day that you come back and Ignacy is there, and mind you, you don't mention to him when you're like timing your when you're going to the between, but he inevitably shows up on time. And like the next day he brings his own supplies, and you can only assume that he paid for them. So with that, you only have to pay for one batch, and you have 8 of these scrolls. And on like that last day where you're kind of just finishing them up and like basically imbuing them with your magic, he like doesn't show up on that last day because it is done.
Sure. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So then, yes, you wanted to go to Janatimo one time.
Yeah, so when he goes to Janatimo, don't have to role play it out, but he's basically going to tell Janatimo, Ignacy is looking to become stronger and catch the eyes of teachers, and I thought you should know.
Do you know why?
I think because I am advancing.
I could imagine that is spurring his interest, but I highly doubt that is the underlying reason.
I'm not sure. He's secretive. I read his book once.
Do you know why he's secretive?
No.
Are you curious?
No.
I'll tell you this. Teacher Aunt, when I returned to campus, told me about your exploits and told me your stories. If you can tell me Ignacy's story, then I'd be happy to judge his interest.
Can he tell you his story? Because I don't really care about it.
You seem to care enough to come to me and vouch for him.
Because he seems to think I have an unfair advantage. Which I do not.
I see. Well, from what I've seen of the boy, he could use a friend.
He what? Sorry. I
Could use a friend.
could use a friend. Sure. I will tell Tal and Hideaki.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
He's interested in you, Ark. As a friend. He may not know it, but I think so. And you can do with that what you will. But if you want to help him get stronger, in any capacity, perhaps building some trust would help.
Why do people want to be friends?
Ooh, that's a hard question. I suppose because as a group, if there is trust, you are stronger together. You watch each other's backs. You rely on each other's strengths to watch each other's weaknesses. It makes the unit more whole only if there's trust.
Sure, but entire sports teams or militaries are not friends with each other. Yet there is still trust. If I have skills, is there not trust?
It really depends. Trust in combat, perhaps, and these military groups would be able to achieve one goal, but it's not very flexible. You wouldn't go... There's other types of strengths and weaknesses outside of combat. And if you apply that same mentality to social interactions, you perhaps may find an easier time gaining information that would be useful to you to achieve your goals if you let one of your allies, friends, if you will,
They're not friends.
do the talking. I understand. But in this example, a friend you could ask to do that for you on your behalf because there is mutual trust. It simplifies the process.
Or I would just get better at it, because I could eventually become better than them.
Do you think you could become better at every skill?
Yes.
On your character sheet, what is your least strong skill?
Huh. Like with total minuses?
Mm-hmm.
Performance or diplomacy?
Then, should you have the time, I would love to see you perform what is she doing? I will let you know. I have a teacher to talk to in the Uzajanti classes.
Okay.
And eventually you do get a note where you get told, and I will find the name of the teacher later. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. But one of the teachers at the Uzanjanti classes is hosting it. They do a whole bunch of different performances around the year. And she basically gets a message to you saying, I have been requested by Teacher Janatimo to put you into this interpretive dancing performance that is happening in a few weeks. And she wishes, for you to be a part of that.
Sure.
And with that sort of like undercurrent going on, we will zoom out, and we'll probably jump to an early break so that we can come back with a few more stories.
Boy, what a
This
disaster
is
that was in the best
so
way.
delightful.
I love
I'm
it so much.
excited.
Welcome back. Why is it that when Waffles does a countdown every time, I'm like, oh, I have to talk?
Oh, right.
Oh, it's me.
Oh,
I'm
it's
the
me.
I'm the
Happen
I'm
every
showing-
time.
Look, whether or
one.
not you accept it, you are the conductor on this train.
It's true. I just
one who
forget
talks.
sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I have to hands on the wheel, hands on the wheel.
I'm the bell. Ding ding.
Let's be honest,
Ding,
there's
ding.
no wheel. There's never been a wheel.
There's no tracks. There's no train even.
There's the tracks. That's the thing.
There's just a control that says
We're
how
flying.
fast we going.
I do the speed, and the three of you are like the ones that are like taking the tracks from behind and like trying to put it in the front fast enough to just keep going.
Yep.
See, that's the trick. We're just taking the tracks and throwing them out. And you
Yes.
just think
See,
Excellent.
this is the new T-shirt idea. Syrup is just pushing forward on the throttle, and our characters are just like holding on for dear life.
Yeah, like flying. Yeah.
I love this. I love this dearly. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna come right back in. Ark has finished crafting. There now 8 spells, scrolls. I'm sure I won't regret that at all. And some interesting conversations with Ignacy and as well as Janatimo. I want to just quickly give you the option, Ark/Waffles. Is there a group scene after your individual that you wish to have?
Yeah. It's just everyone can be there, but it's mostly gonna be with Tal. Like, he doesn't care to have the conversation in front of everyone.
Okay.
But we're probably like eating dinner one night or something all together. And eventually Ark like speaks up. I think at this point he's probably told y'all about the interaction with Ignacy as well. But then he speaks up and says, and when I went to Janatimo, I ended up having to I need to do a dance for the Uzanjanti, I think.
it's an interesting request.
Yeah, he seems to think I would be bad at it.
Did he say that?
No, but he definitely tried to pick something I wasn't good at. He wasn't like, Ark, go cast a spell.
Are you good at dancing?
I don't know. I've never danced before.
Would you like to try to see if you are good at dancing?
Sure. I don't know what to dance to, but Ark will stand up and, like, try to do what he imagines the interpretive dance to be.
Oh my god. So at this point, have you done any of like the dances yet or anything like that?
I feel like this is
Like gone to class?
yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a challenge from a teacher, so he's been studying this like it's finals week.
Okay. So and the thing is though, it's not that frequent. Now you can of course do your own like versions, but like the class is probably like you've gone to 1, maybe 2 of the actual classes to learn these dances.
Yeah.
And one of the times, probably the first time Janatimo was there at the class, kind of watching, kind of probably entered halfway through. And I think he would have mentioned to you, as part of the challenge, see if, how well do you succeed at this without assistance from your group.
Sure.
Also, I just have this feeling like we're watching Ark, and like Ark is like mechanically and like on point, like how you're supposed to do it, but it's like stiff and like without like
Pop
that...
and locking.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like it's
Not even
Domo
that.
arigato, Mr.
Like, yeah.
Roboto.
like as he's doing it, like
It is
it's like exactly what it's
technically
supposed.
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the technicality
It's
is
book
perfect.
correct.
Yes. But it's just like, okay, but like again, more passion.
More
passion.
During that conversation, Ark would probably ask if he could use spells.
No.
Okay.
And this is not something Janatimo asks, but rather like he kind of defers that to the Uzanjanti teacher. I should have grabbed her name. But it's one of those things where it's like this is about storytelling and the art of interpretive dance. This is a very passionate teacher, one that you'd probably struggle to get along with, to be honest. She's very extreme and like prone to like her whims, a little like Kuride, but is just very passionate in this case about storytelling and history. Honestly, she's a huge history nerd. So it's just one of those things where it's just like, no, it's not part of the art form, and blah, blah, blah. You don't need to do it and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
The two-step is overrated.
Okay.
All dance has a place.
Yeah, I mean, he would probably explain that of like he can't get any help per se, but he does want to. Does want to check in with them. Have this little dance scene, and see how it goes. And obviously, another reason, like I want him to be able to relay the information from Ignacy too. So.
Absolutely. So are you trying to, in the midst of this dining room with no music, make a performance
Oh, I can
check?
fix that.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
I can give music.
Well, the question is that's what Ark is doing. I mean, he stands up and is just...
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, Ark
That's
just
fair.
stands up and's like, so it's like this. And he rolls a natural 20.
Fuck you.
A natural 20 for an 18?
I'm so
Of course
upset.
you do.
I'm so fucking upset right now. Are you
Of course
fucking
you
serious?
do. I think that does kind of line up, though, with kind of how we were joking about it is.
Yeah, kind of.
It is technically, from a technical standpoint,
Get it
what
out
you're
now, it's
supposed
fine.
to do with your body.
I think this gives me a +2 for like when I actually do it.
Oh, no.
Nice
Yeah,
try.
I think you... Here's the thing. They don't have the music. And actually, for that, all of your movements are succinct to exactly what the moves are supposed to be. And I think they look unique alone with no music. And I think there's an aspect as well of none of you have watched Ark move in this manner before. And I think all of it sort of just put together has you, like, it looks like a thing that it put together. You know, there's nothing you could pick apart necessarily.
Yeah.
Also, I do have the teacher's name, and I apologize. They are a gender fluid elf. It's not one that we have necessarily talked about yet, but their name is Nyira.
Cool.
You're gonna have to spell.
Nyira.
Woo! A spicy meatball.
That's
Naira.
Their specialty is
Nyira.
history through artwork.
Nice. Well, I mean, I'm popping off, so.
Yeah. I think like I think
even the robot.
Hideaki is watching and then like stabs his food slightly harder than he was doing earlier. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty fucking good.
Tal
You
is
done Arafay just goes.
Tal is looking at it from a very unique perspective of knowing how perfectionist Ark is, or as Ark would put it, how perfect Ark is. And also knowing real performance.
Mm-hmm.
And I can roll if you want, but I have a sense, to use the terminology, that there is no soul in this. There is no
I think that is the
reason other than to
perfect-
do it than to do it.
Yep.
And to do it
And I would-
very well.
I want to give Ark the moment. I mean, I am assuming there is no emotion invokingness happening within Ark as you do this. This is a sheer recreation of the moves as written. Is that correct?
Yeah, without music, like, yeah.
Okay.
So you get so Hideaki gives you the, like, you know, disgruntled, like, yeah, you're great, you did good, and then Arafay is clapping, and Tal is just looking at you with squinted eyes.
This is the same look you've seen from the teacher.
That wasn't good, Ark.
Well, 2 out of 3 people thought it was.
True. But how many of us have been doing this our entire lives?
I can think of exactly one person in this room.
Yes, one person.
I want to respect that you didn't ask for help. Or rather, that you can't ask for help.
Yes.
But there is something missing that I don't think that you are able to do yet.
The music.
No, we can
It was
add
missing
music
and I
to
cannot
it.
play.
That is... Technically, you are correct. But there's another aspect which I won't tell you because that might be considered cheating and helping. Unless you want me to. That I think you are lacking. That I don't think you can literally have right now. Because you don't know what it is.
You can tell me after if I still want to dance. Otherwise, it's a waste.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, though.
Okay. Sure.
We will zoom out of this and focus in again in timey-wimey goodness on Taliatia.
That's me.
It is. Now, specifically, Tal, how are you spending some of your free moments?
Well, thankfully, possibly spurred on a little bit by this conversation. I'm doing some reading and some research on a couple of topics if I have the time.
From what I have, the research that I've done, it
Yes.
was
There's-
specifically on one.
Yes, there's specifically one, and if I had time, I wanted to do another one. But
Yeah.
yes.
Well, let's start with the one, and we'll see how it
okay.
goes.
Yes. So, we'll say then before this the dancing conversation because that would have been a hyperfixation for a while. Tal finally cracks open that little red Fate Weaver book from her grandmother and reads that and takes notes and is in depth about learning everything in that book cover to cover. And through reading that and digesting any of that information, wants to do more research and reading about information about pacts and the Norn and dealings with magical entities and the rabbit trails that those would go down.
I love it. So, beginning with the book, Followers of Fate, you begin to just dive into that alone. And alone, what you kind of pick up from the book is this is a religious text of a kind. And the religious text aspect here comes from mortal worship of Norns as deities. And so while that is interesting and it helps you learn about this as a religion, you realize that this may not... You understand why your grandmother had this book, and it was indeed she gave it to you to learn about the Norns. But your questions in regards to your relationship with them is clearly different. So we'll start with what you learned from this book, and then we'll kind of go into that research. This is similar stuff that I know that I've probably mentioned when Hideaki read the book, but we'll go through it briefly.
Been a while.
Yes. So those who uphold Norns as deities are known as followers of fate. The kind of things that you pick up, especially, and then I will note that you also see like little markings from your grandmother in the book in particular. So first of all, there on the cover, and I think in like on the first few pages, you do see the religious symbol, which is a pair of shears cutting a golden thread. The edicts of this religion is to make predictions of the future, to offer advice and guidance to those in positions of power, and provide comfort to the elderly. Comfort to the elderly is like underlined a little. Their anathemas are apologize for making an incorrect prediction, disrespect mothers. Disrespect mothers is underlined. Accept payment for fortune telling. And you see a note there where you do realize that indeed your troop never did that. There was a reason it was never a part of your like open to the public. Like it wasn't that there wasn't fortune telling in camp, but it was never for payment to the public. The areas of concern are destiny, fate, and the aging process. And that's really all you get from this book. But curious and wanting to pursue further, I would imagine that you go to probably the best place in most of the world for this kind of research. And I think the library, and not just any library, the Archhorn Library. And I think this time, perhaps kind of like with this mindset coming off of your win, your own personal win, your group's win, with sort of like that appreciative mindset, you walk into this place and you realize once more how vast a collection it is here.
Before I go to the library, can I stop by the dorms and knock on the door of Chizire?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know Chizire is very smart and knows the library. And want to ask if he would be willing to help me go on a bit of a scavenger hunt.
So you knock on the door, and he just kind of calls in from inside. Open.
And I'll open it. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
I was headed to the library, and I was wondering if you wanted to help me on a particularly challenging book hunt.
He yawns. No, that sounds like a lot of work.
Okay. I just thought it would be fun. I don't really get to see you a whole lot, and I'm just gonna start walking out and closing the door very, like, so slowly behind me.
He opens one eye.
But if you think it would be more fun to be here all alone, that's totally fine too. I'll just keep pulling the door, just like so slowly.
What's in it for me?
Tal will peek their head back in. What do you want?
Drink. Do you have drinks?
I could get some.
Ah, forget it. And he kind of starts getting up. And as he kind of like, and he's not saying that he's like coming with you, but yet he's getting up. And as kind of like starts following, he kind of like goes down the hallway in the dorms and passes like the entryway towards Mariama's door. And like he starts he just smacks his paw on it, and you hear Mariama go, "What?" And he's like, "I'm taking my favorite." And he goes, like he just opens the door, and he comes out with like a couple like bottles in his thing that he stuffs into like a bag that he does it for you in the end, and then is just like, "Well, come on."
I'll just like wave really quickly at Mariama through the door. And then
Miyama comes like running out. What are you doing?
going to the. Do you want to come? I'm looking for
You're
books.
going, yes, wherever,
Mm.
yes, books? Okay.
Yeah, yes. This is perfect. Excellent.
Okay.
Then you won't
And
be
she-
bored, and you know what I'm looking for, Miriyama. We've looked for it before.
Okay. And like she's distracted as she goes to Jazir and she's like, give me these back. And she takes like half of them, puts them in her own bag, and then the two of them kind of join you to the library. And with this, actually, I think this is where, again, upbeat with some folks and some friends in tow, you realize that in the end, your grandmother was right. You see how vast a collection of books that the Archhorn Library has, and you know that the Magaambya is known for gathering so much. And if there's any one place in the world, on Galarian, that you can learn about this, it's here. And you have friends in tow to help you. And so you proceed.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that stands out for you is definitely that, again, you see that the Norns are followers of fate anyways, is a religion, which is not quite what is your interest here. So let's just do a general sort of research check here. So that will be, I would let it be, because you're looking specifically from like an occult perspective, probably. So it's sort of like a recall knowledge with occult as you do that research.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense to me.
I'd love that. So I just add my occult, right?
Yep. And I will, let's see how they help you. I'm curious. Let's start with your roll and we'll go from there.
Okay. Please be good, please. Oh, it's not terrible. 21.
21. Now, what I do want in general, similar, because it is a downtime activity, similar to ARC, like this is in general stuff that we're going to be looking at over the course of multiple days in which you're doing this research. So I'll kind of carry this through overall. But the initial bit that you start going down is like, okay, this is religious. What else is there about fate as a start? A couple things from the religious side as well stand out to you, and you go look and you can see, interestingly, from this section, where Mariama is very interested in starting anyways, is there's sort of like this section of the library that's like sectioned by categories of deities. So you have gods of the inner sea, you have ancient Assyrian gods, you have demon lords, you have dwarven gods, you have like so many, like just categories of different gods. And Mariama, kind of diving into the fate aspect, comes back and piles of books at you. You learn mentions of Grandmother Spider, which I'll tell you in a hot moment, and Magda. Again, let me find each here. Grandmother Spider is a local god, one of the Mwangi gods. And Grandmother Spider, also known as Nana Anadi, began her existence as a servant of the other gods, meant to weave fate and reality into existence. Infuriated at her position as a lackey, she made fools of the greater gods through mischief and disruption. She stole and copied Asmodeus's keys, resulting in widespread chaos, and pilfered some of Saren Ray's fire, leading numerous followers astray. Nimbly avoiding any retribution for her antics, Grandmother Spider rewove the strands of fate for herself, gaining her freedom. Something about this strikes you as just interesting. This is another deity that deals with fate in a totally different nation. And she wove fate for herself and found her freedom. stands out to you. Another thing that stands out to you. Magda. Magda is an eldest. Eldists are individuals, I'll give you the actual thing. When the gods abandoned the first world, and for your familiarity, that's like kind of like the Feywild a little. Their initial rough draft of creation shaped in distant prehistory. They're native beings of incredible power that stepped in to fill the vacuum. These beings are called the eldest. So that's just like one category of gods. But Magda is one of the eldest. And the thing that stands out to you about Magda is she's called the Three. She's the eldest of foreknowledge, complexity, and triplets. And the greatest seer in the first world. Most often appearing as a woman with 3 faces set equidistantly around her head. Magda looks across the skeins of fate into myriad alternate realities and possible futures. Among all the eldest, she has the deepest knowledge of reality's true design, and the ripples of a single action or inaction can create throughout all of existence. Now, you realize that this is closer to what you're dealing with. And in fact, maybe Norns in some fashion kind of connect to Magda, though they are not Magda. It is another deity, it is an eldest. Now, the thing with this that strikes you as interesting is it looks like it sort of puts it in perspective for you. And as you read up on these other deities and gods, you realize you've been kind of settled into this deal of some kind with your patron. And they are incredibly powerful. But this leaves inklings in your mind of they're not the only powerful thing in relation to fate. And perhaps they don't hold all of your strings. That is stuff that Mariama brings to you. Chizire mostly naps at the table.
I think then what I do a lot with Chizire while Miriama's out collecting things is catching him up on why we're doing this, because I don't think I've told him any of it. Or if I did,
I mean, in terms of
like,
your patron.
Exactly, like the patron and like, hey, remember that time that was really cool and I died? Ha ha ha. Well, here's what happened actually. And then, basically telling him like all of that.
Yeah.
And like pointing to things in books and being like, and then it was kind of like this with like blah blah blah. And
Perfect.
somebody new to tell it to, where I feel like I can tell it in a way that is not as personalized.
Yeah, and I think what this allows you to do, so we'll keep going a little bit with what directions you're interested in looking up, and then Mariama's helping you find the information, and Chizire will help you sort of extrapolate information as a sounding board and as like a person that's just listening to all of it. And if you recall, just as a reminder for you, because Tal would know this, Chizire is dyslexic.
Right.
And as such, like, he doesn't have much interest in trying to like help you with the books in that regard. But he's more than happy to listen. So these are some of the stuff that you've kind of already got, and I'm assuming, I mean, these take some time. You're all reading through books minus Chizire, and so we'll say that day one, kind of going through. Maybe kind of come back another time. You guys start meeting up more frequently at the library, little trio. The second day, Mariama kind of like hopping in a little bit late, goes like, oh, sorry. Hey, I heard that you were becoming a conversant.
Yeah, what does that mean? Exactly. It seemed like a really big deal. I mean, I
It
get that
is.
it's like another thing, but is it like a big deal?
Yeah.
It seems to
You
be a big deal.
represent the Magaambya now. Like, you can go out into, like, the city and you represent the school. Like, you're initiates, and then Syrup needs to go look at the list. Hold on.
The other
Attendant
one,
and then converse.
attendance.
I haven't. I looked it up myself, so don't worry.
Our attendance, because we got our masks. It was our
Yep.
mask.
Yeah, I
making
wanted the
ceremony.
full
And then
list.
lore
though,
speaker is after that.
Lore speaker. Okay, yeah. After that, you're a lore speaker, which is like a teacher.
What?
Yeah. So you're literally like a class above us now. You didn't tell us. Why didn't you tell us?
Because I didn't think it was anything to tell.
Oh my god.
I
That's
don't know.
that's wild.
And I think Tal just kind of like sinks in their chair a little bit. Oh boy.
And Mariama's like obviously a lot in energy, and it just like sits down across from you. She's like, no, it's fine. I mean, that makes sense. I'm sorry. I'm not yelling at you. I'm a little.
No, it's not. I didn't. Realize that's a lot of extra responsibility I wasn't expecting.
That's why I tried to just stay out of their sights, honestly. Just hear like from the table. It's a lot of work. But you're fine.
But I'm already. I have so much work that I'm already doing.
Tell them no.
I don't want to do that. Everyone else was. All of the.
I'll do it. Trade with me. I'm just kidding.
You would have to be with
I really
Hideaki a
wanna
lot,
be,
and I don't think. I know, and I don't. It feels weird. It doesn't really feel fair that we got it, and then you all have been here longer than we have, and.
Well, not by much, but like, I mean, you did die and everything, and like you've been through a lot.
But me dying shouldn't give me a all I did
but
was die.
You're stronger for it. No, it's not the fact that you died. It's the fact that you're here. You came back.
Yeah.
Honestly, here's the thing, right? You know shit always happens to me. All of the time. I do some math and accidentally summon a devil. And I don't get, good job, Mariama, you're so strong. I get, take the chalk away. What are you doing?
Which isn't fair. That's not fair.
I mean, Chazira kind of comes, like, pipes up a little. But, Mariama, you just screamed. When that group deals with shit, they deal with it. Mariama just, like, huffs a little.
I don't know.
And as this sort of continues, Mariama, probably for like, as you kind of slowly go back into some of the research, is very hot and cold. She goes from like, oh, this is so cool, to like being very jealous and kind of frustrated, and then back to like, oh, but it's so cool. And clearly, like, she's still in the process of processing. And you see it like just full on her sleeve. It's very obvious.
I think at some point, like, maybe we've been at it for a while, and Tal is like leaning on the table, and is just like looking over at Miriam and says, I just wish that there was something I could do to, I don't know, get it so that you all could be there with us.
No, thank you.
Okay, well, you then, Miriam, since it looks like it sounds like it means a lot to you.
I don't know. I mean, yes, it does, but then also, like, yeah, I don't know. I'll get it eventually. You're not gonna beat me. I'm gonna catch up to you. Obviously.
Oh, it's not a race. I'm not Ark and Hideaki. I don't want to try to fight to be the best around here.
Okay, good, because I don't actually want to do that either. I'm
Good.
actually more on the Chizire side, because, like, I want to do stuff, but honestly, it gets really tiring when stuff keeps happening, and then sometimes I just don't want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tal's just nodding a lot.
And then kind of like...
and looks really tired in that moment.
Well, we can take a break, because I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry. I know you also could use a break.
It's not. This is a break, honestly.
Okay. Well, I'll go get some more books. What do you want? More Fate?
Actually, I have a weird personal project that I'm working on.
Okay.
That maybe you can help me find. Oh, it's gonna sound weird. It's gonna sound really weird, and I don't want you to think it's weird.
I will judge.
Of course
but
you will.
I won't think it's weird.
Okay. I'll just I want to try to find explanations of emotions and how to talk about them. And also see if there's anything about androids for no reason at all.
I think both Mariama and Chizire share a look.
Tal's trying really hard not to look at either of them.
I think it was they put 1 and 1 and they made 2 so fast.
It's not hard. There is one android on this campus.
Well, this is a magic focused library.
Right. But that doesn't mean that it's just magic.
No,
right?
But I don't think... Listen, I'll go look for some android stuff, and I'll let you know if I get, like, a 101 emotions for dummies on the way, okay? Because I don't know if we have that. But I'll look.
Okay.
And she'll run off. Is there anything
just, like,
in particular?
leans back with a big, just, like, uncomfortable sigh.
And you know that she's right. Like, in the end, the task of, like, learning and teaching emotions is not necessarily something you're gonna find in these books.
I know, but it would be so much easier if I could just hold up a picture and say, now this.
Yes. Now, when it comes to, like, I just further clarification, like, Mariama is not being bitchy in this. It's like both of you come to the table knowing both that very clear. But yes.
Yeah.
Now for androids, what in particular are you interested in?
Learning literally anything about them, because, like, I have from my mask android lore, but beyond Ark and a little bit of what Iska's said, I can only go based on what Ark has told me about how being an android has been, which I can only take so far.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's a very specific view of what
in this case, as you also go looking for some stuff, go ahead and make me your android lore check. And what we'll do with this is it'll just be a separate roll. So we'll see what we get.
Bum, bum, bum.
Hey, I'm gonna spend a hero point.
Ooh.
You're now at 0.
I know. We're not gonna have combat though, right?
We're about to find out.
It was better.
Leveled up, somebody's got to die.
19.
19. Now, good thing about specific lore is it is less always a less DC.
Yeah, I'm 4 turned into an 8.
Nice. Now, one thing happens though as you go to look for some android books. You start kind of wandering the stacks almost, just kind of like trying to find something, and in the moments of kind of like you're glancing through these areas and you start like, no, it's not good. It's like almost like when you go to a bookstore and you're like, is it in science fiction or fantasy, like trying to like really just specify what category. There's a sort of point inside, there's this deep kind of want to understand. And as you go to use this hero point, which is a fortune effect,
Yeah.
you feel you almost take your fortune into your own hands and try to ensure that you find this. You feel something shift in your pocket.
Sorry, I was reading and it took me like an extra 30 seconds to process what you said. Something shifts in my pocket, you say?
Yes.
I will reach in.
You see your spool. And it has some golden thread back on it.
What save am I rolling, Syrup?
It looks like it has regained some of thread.
Huh.
But you're distracted as you find yourself in the history section. And you feel yourself kind of like, well, let me go back, like super back. This doesn't make sense, but because like he was just born, technically, right? He's only 5 years old, but let's just go back. And you find yourself in like a history of Galarian, in the era of like the Reign of Stars. And you pull out a book. And it is going to be more from a historical lens. But it is very interesting. You find out through this book that androids, and it's not focused on androids, but it sort of like mentions androids in passing. So this is kind of what you're extrapolating from it. It's not an Android 101 book, unfortunately.
Right.
Androids first arrived on Galarian during the Reign of Stars, when an interstellar vessel from a far-off planet, crash-landed and scattered debris across Numeria, continent of Numeria. While some android survivors of this crash still walk Galarian today, most were created from the technological pods known as foundries that operate sporadically amid the starship's wreckage. Androids birthed from these mechanical wombs possess mature bodies and newborn souls, both organic and synthetic. They emerge knowing only their creator's language and the motor skills necessary for survival. They have no understanding of their surroundings, origin, or purpose. Most learn how to behave through keen observation while wandering Numeria. And to give you a map, and I can like double check it later, but Numeria is not near here at all, and it is far to the northeast-ish.
Very, very north.
Very, very north. it's interesting. That's ancient.
Mhm.
Ancient and old. And it looks like, from everything you found, I mean, if they're born, so to speak, or made from Numeria, far, far, far to the north. As far as you know, that's not where Arca said he's from.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I will say you kind of pick up, and I want to find this. Waffles, you can correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
because I don't fully see it here. But one of the other pieces of like what you learn about their sort of life cycle. Ah, there we go. They don't grow old. But when androids feel their time coming to an end, like when they feel it's their time, they willingly release their souls to the boneyard to face Pharasma's judgment, and their bodies shut down into a lifeless hibernation. And after a few weeks, a new soul can enter in the android's form. And it triggers a full restart, a reinitialization. And that's called renewal. And that is only if they choose to do so. They cannot go through renewal if they die by violence.
Hmm. Okay.
I love it when even Waffles doesn't know his own story. And so he sends me messages of like, oh, what if it's this? Interesting.
Hmm.
I'm usually
Fascinating.
right on the dot though. So. Sorry, my art's bleeding.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will
Alright,
say,
I'm
like,
fast.
this probably takes you a while to piece all of that information
Oh yeah,
together.
it is late. I'm sure that the two of them had left at some point. It is.
Yeah, I mean, it could even be
very
over the
late
course of
into
like
the
a
night.
couple days, probably. You get like a piece
Yeah,
of
yeah,
this book
yeah.
and it ends, and you're like, I want to go back the next day and I'm gonna find the rest of this little piece over here, etc.
Yeah, there are multiple late / overnighters.
Mm-hmm.
Poor sleeping habits this week at least.
All right. And probably all of that focus is why you didn't crit succeed on your stage.
Yeah.
But is there anything at this point that you would like to sort of come out of the immediacy of gathering information and regroup with anybody?
I don't nothing super specific, but I think that at some point, maybe like a late afternoon before, between meals or after classes in the Sprout House, when we all happen to just kind of be there, maybe lounging in like the larger common area or something like that, in some safer space that's not in the middle of campus. I think Tal would tell everybody like the stuff that she found about the patrons specifically. And the parts that they thought were closest to their patron and the parts that didn't quite make sense, but also talking about the Nana Anadi, who sounds a lot like what the Anadi were talking about, and like kind of bringing up that conversation one afternoon.
In immediate response, The Nord Triumvirate! Yes, you read it! And you found even more information out! Excellent!
Try what?
You read the book, obviously, because that's...
Oh, well, yeah, I kind
more.
of knew a lot of... I kind of... It helped clarify some things, but I kind of knew a lot of it already just by talking to them.
Mhm.
I realized.
Sure, yeah, makes sense. Totally.
But
I want to give you one additional piece that I meant to give you, which is that when you read about Magda and you kind of refocus on Norns a little bit, you learned that many Norns serve Magda the Three.
mm-hmm. Great. Excellent. Well, I will also
Sorry.
share that.
But continue.
No, that's perfect. It's great.
So how do you feel now that you have that information in your back pocket?
I feel like I need to talk to them more and try to figure out. I mean, like, I know why, in one sense, I was given these magical powers. It's that a lot of that was not in my control. But what they actually want, like really want, other than get stronger and Nim, do you know what they actually really want? Just talking to Nim, who's sitting right in front of me on the floor.
I feel like we all instinctually look at Nim, even though we know we're not going to hear a damn thing.
Yep.
Well, I think they want you to get
Soon.
stronger.
I just said that.
They don't want you to die if your dream is not a dream.
It's not a dream.
Oh, I did learn that spell.
Oh.
Huh?
I'm sorry. There was a spell about
What
Nim
spell?
that was out of character. Sorry.
No, Star is
Sorry.
interested in this spell.
Don't worry about it. It'll come to. It's fine. Yeah, I think I just need to try to. I don't know. Keep talking to them, maybe.
How do you talk to them now? Through
I've
Nim?
only done it once. Well, one kind of. And they let out a sigh before they say, "It was when I was asleep. It wasn't a dream because I literally got new abilities that I didn't have before. Which you don't just dream that into existence.
You can.
Have you?
Yes, and then I went and worked on it after.
Which means
But
that
you didn't go to
actually
s-
learned...
You didn't go to sleep not knowing anything about it and wake up the next day being able to do it exactly.
I mean, back when I leveled up from level 4 to level 5. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Ark's like, I just went into my skill tree.
Yeah, just hit the button. That's how it works,
I
right,
just
guys?
opened up my
a
options
button.
menu. You guys don't have a visual user display?
You don't have a 10-year plan?
You don't have your HP listed in the bottom of your screen? Wait, what are you guys doing here?
What the hell? I thought this was
Ark
good
just
production.
goes,
Oh my god.
I just do what Arc 1 tells me.
Right? Reveal! Ah! Just kidding.
I'm now imagining that Ark has a UI interface in his eyes.
Totally. Totally. A heads-up display.
Jarvis, if you will.
Yes, he is Iron Man.
Tal, do you think as you get stronger, you could just visit them whenever you want? Like, you just, like... travel over there to their forest?
It would be great if I could take you all with me someday.
Yeah, I would love to go again.
Yeah.
Is Arafay the only one who hasn't actually been there?
Technically,
Ark
Ark
been there?
hasn't. Technically,
but-
Ark saw it through
I was
my
gonna say, but
memories.
they
Yeah.
shared the memory together, so
Right.
Ark has quote unquote seen it.
Yeah, I've
Seen
seen the
it.
dream.
Seen it.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever
So, yeah.
tried calling on them?
Yeah, maybe there's a ritual or something.
I mean, if they're some sort of pseudo deity or deity.
I don't think that they're actually. I think they follow a deity, kind of. Well, they kind of. I think they kind of overlap a little bit into. I don't know.
I mean,
They're
if
really
nothing
powerful.
else, they seem powerful enough to come into your brain when they feel like it. Maybe you can
And give me powers.
express to the universe that you want to talk with them, and maybe they can come to you.
What if we put your life in danger?
Let's leave that for a last.
Maybe
one.
not.
Well, to be fair, we've already done that, and so I think we can rule that out as a possibility.
Well, that was when they talked to them the first time, right?
No, my life was not in danger. I died.
Right. Past
Well,
Been in
tense.
danger
Now
plenty
that
of
you're
times.
alive, your life was in danger. You didn't die.
But
As you all sort of fall into the semantic conversation.
Yep. Here we go again.
Arafay is like playing with a snake as they're having this conversation.
Hideaki's petting presents.
we have so many pets.
Yes, we do.
So many. We zoom out of this with potentially a new avenue that Tal may or may not wish to explore of like how do they call upon their patron. We zoom into another downtime activity. Hideaki.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Oh, just fancy, Dad, fancy. I'm
Right?
doing great. Yeah.
So I heard from the grapevine a little bit that you're looking to make some cash.
Yep.
Excellent. How so?
So one day, someday, in the midst of these 2 weeks, with a bit of pep in the step with the great news that they received recently, Hideaki has procured at some point, likely through Zokan, what appears to be a very large scroll. And by very large, I mean over the shoulder like a tube, like about several feet. And he is one afternoon after classes heading towards Habram's room.
Excellent. So that I know what is this scroll?
It's an empty scroll currently.
Oh, like a scroll,
It's
like
not,
case.
it's actually, I'm sorry, it's not a scroll, it's a large piece of parchment.
Okay, got it. So you head off over to the dorms, probably looking for Habram, and knock on his door, and he's like, yes. And I don't remember his accent, so we're gonna wing it.
For sure. Habram, my friend, are you ready for a very new experience that we've been trying to do for 9 months?
Yes, and like he jumps off of his bed, and like if you've like said this through the door, he like slams the door open.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Okay. So, do you want to do this in your room, my room, in the Sprout House, somewhere else, classroom? Choose.
Tubes. Make a space. Let's go.
Okay.
And he runs to the between.
And he eventually finding like a table, slams it down, and the piece of parchment is revealed, and it has some notes and some diagrams on it. Okay. I haven't figured out what the name of this business is going to be, but we know that it's based off of one thing. Two things, actually. Hang gliders and fun. because we need a little bit more fun around here. Huh?
Yes.
Okay, got it. I think you said why, and I was about to be really confused. Okay,
Right,
got it. Good. Nope, you're good.
The
Absolutely.
GM's figured out the accent.
Totally good. Nope, it's all good. You're doing good. So here's the concern. So as both of us being experienced hang gliders, and by that I mean I've done it twice, and you've done it probably, X amount of times, right?
Yes.
Great.
Slightly more.
Sure, certainly. So what I'm thinking, and he points to a picture of, or essentially a diagram of the tower, and then there's a little like Hideaki on the. I'm not reading chat. There's a Hideaki like on the tower, and then there's a long line across into the forest, kind of where they found Tal originally. So here's what I think we need to figure out, because it is likely that just having a loose hang glider and having folks that are not trained to utilize it is probably bad for everyone, and people will likely not use it. But
All right.
if we created a...
Who's our target audience?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Yep.
All right.
But probably not Anchorroot, because I don't think that Anchorroot will do it. So literally everybody else but Anchorroot, actually.
I think we need to go outside of the school.
Okay. So
Students?
you have...
Generally poor.
Right.
City of Natambu, however.
See, here's the thing. I was actually thinking, like, if we are successful here, that's like an annex point. But if you're ready to go to level 2 right away, I'm in.
So we're gonna zoom out a tippy touch as you begin to figure out the foundations of your business, so to speak. What Habram's contributions is he is able to help craft these hand gliders to help you craft it. If you wish to be the salesperson of it.
Oh,
earn income.
100%. Yes.
Okay. So the way that this is going to look, likely, as you
CEO,
establish, and you try a few tactics. So again, downtime activity, we're going to go over the course of multiple days. This is a brainstorming session. Eventually, you bring, he's able to, spend a few days in which you help him craft 3 very basic hand gliders, and he has his prized ones as well. And you bring it down into the city, and you start kind of showing it off in one like area where there's some buskers and things like that. You probably, for ease of like getting like lift and like space and not to bother the populace, you probably use the rivers is what I was thinking, to like sort of like show that you can go across the rivers with it.
But Hideaki will make a point to make sure that the hang glider, wherever it's the tallest, is within seeing distance from the markets.
Ooh, perfect. Okay, I love this.
I have been thinking about this a really long time, okay?
I love it. So you begin to basically establish. Now, my question is the, are you introducing a new sort of like sport in the city, or are you more so introducing a new product and which you're trying to just sell hang gliders and you're showing people how to use them?
A little bit of both. Like, it's a ride, and then like there's like a rental fee. And or you could purchase your own, and then like it's like less of a membership and more of a
because
ownership.
Habram can't make them that quickly, and he's also wanting to make them look nice. That's a perfect way to like maintain while he's able to like have a couple for sale. And they kind of are well, we'll see if they're hot commodity. So we're gonna start with the general roll. So earn income, we're going to see how successful you are. I wanted to get that understanding of what it is exactly you're looking to do, because then I'm going to set that DC.
Of course.
So this is fairly complex business, and it's going to take a bit to jump start it. So we'll do an initial roll here.
What you thinking?
I want for you, because you are basically marketing and salespersoning this can be performance, to show them off, and also sort of like you know, present it to the public. I could probably see diplomacy for like marketing as well, but like if you want to convince me otherwise, you tell me.
I'm cool with diplomacy.
Okay.
Oh, it's fucking on. Let's see, math, not a math gay, 32.
32.
I've rolled a nat 19 on the school check. I rolled another nat 19 right now.
Amazing. Okay. Whew. What are you trained or expert?
In diplomacy, I'm an expert.
Oh, okay.
That makes so much money. Crits are wild on earn income.
So you DC, first you roll determine your earnings. You get an amount of income based on your result, the task level, and your proficiency rank. You can continue to work at the task on subsequent days without needing to roll again. Is there crit? Oh, yes, there is crit. You do outstanding work, gain the amount of currency listed for the task +1 and your proficiency rank. Huh?
+1 and your proficiency rank? Is that like the words?
Oh. If you get the value of the +1 task level. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. So I'm going to say, because it's going to take you a couple days to get ready for this and start introducing it. So initially, you have made 8 silver.
Okay.
For that preliminary, which is solid. Now you're able to continue to do this without needing to roll. So basically you're going to kind of start making this income a little bit. But now that I know where you are on this chart, we zoom in a little bit. One of the days where you're ready to head into the city, Essie shows up and is sort of like, let's say are you still working in the makerspace? Where would you kind of be if before you head into the city?
Sure, we'd probably make a home out of it.
Okay.
Unless someone is upset about it.
No, I think you have plenty of space, and I'm sure that you probably are there at peak times, and you never end up seeing Ark.
That's really funny.
And she kind of like comes in, and she goes, "There you are. What are you doing?"
Oh, hey, you were looking for me? Working on Paper and I's new business. And like hands a flyer to Essie.
Awesome, I'll help.
What?
I'm coming with you. Let's go.
What? Okay, so we were splitting the profits 50-50, and so like I think we need to put
No,
it
it's
to
fine.
a vote.
I don't want the profits. It's fine. I'm watching for the day.
Oh. Sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, it'll be good to have some help, and also I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, so cool.
Yeah.
And then he starts to walk out, and then he freezes and spins around. Why is this happening?
Because it just is. And she kind of like grabs some stuff and like carries a crate, a particularly heavy looking one, and starts like walking out with Habram as you head into the city.
Okay.
As you head into the city that day, Essie is with you, and she begins to basically do whatever you're doing. So if you're trying to sell your wares and like share and like call it out, she's starting to do the same. And you slowly notice that she's trying to compete with you. So I'm gonna do the equivalent for now of rollies for each set of tasks that you do throughout the day.
Sure.
So, for starters, we will do diplomacy, or well, we'll just do a flat check. But this is for selling wares.
Okay. I'm gonna hero point that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, natural 20. Let's fucking go.
She also got a natural 20.
Shut up! What is happening?
Okay, You rake in more interested people. I'm not going to have this necessarily affect income as much as it is like it is one of your busiest days, and you're struggling to keep up. And Habram is just like, well, hold on, and let's make a line, and like, you know, trying to like figure this out. And she is like meeting you bat for bat. She, you know, you go left to gather a group of people. She goes right, and she's pushing and like doing all this stuff and gathering it.
I kind of can see like they're like not back to back, but they're like they've kind of cornered off like opposite like ends of areas to sort of grab people.
Yes,
for sure.
And at the end of the day, she's just like, all right, I think I brought 23 people in to your 21. And you, like, she's trying to, like, not count 2 kids or something like that. You're basically, like, the same.
Can I make a perception check?
Yeah.
Just to see what the, like, I think it's obvious that there's, like, competition, which he like is totally down, but like what's the meaning behind it, I think is the nope, 14.
Okay, you can tell that she's competing with you, and she's very intense, but she is an intense person. She's the one that like basically made all the she's like the extra of extra people. She made all the perquisite tasks for all of you. She organized everything, right? She is like the go-getter, and she's probably one of the like most hardworking students as well, and a very accomplished fighter as well. When you kind of head back the following day before
real quick, just to respond to that specific little button. I think he looks and sees like that they're like clearly tied. Yeah, you did great. You did real great. Thank you for. I don't know if what I would have like done if I was by myself. I would have been pretty overwhelmed.
Yes, you're welcome. Come on, Habram, and like she like freaks like helps pack some stuff up, and like starts, and she's like being very oddly hot and cold with you, and you continue onwards. A little later, whether it's, you know, you probably don't spend all day. You have between classes and stuff like there's like stints in which you can go into the city and do these things. She finds you like a bit before dinner or something like that. She's like, "Are you free?"
I can be.
Excellent. Come on, let's
Where
spawn.
Are we going?
To the sparring
we're
fields.
sparring? Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And she like
Cool.
purposefully walks over, and she like in the sparring field, she'll go to like the one of the sheds and like grab 2 basically just stabs, like blunt-ended things, and she's just like, "All right, ready?"
Manifest Silvernosa. Yep.
All right. And you see her like kind of take a second to like reconcile that there's like, okay, there's 2 of them, but she like steals herself, sets herself into a pose, and
as she
ready.
does, we tandem movement, flanking her.
Okay. And we're gonna roll a quick initiative.
Sure.
Sheesh. Hero point.
You're muted, I'm so sorry.
Well, I hit the wrong button. I rolled terribly. But I'm gonna hold on to it. 'Cause I actually don't think he's ready for this. He's a little bit. It's the opposite, because typically people are on his ride, a roller coaster, and he's on hers, and so it kind of has him caught off guard.
Yeah. So she kind of sweeps her legs backwards, watches as the 2 of you kind of flank. Actually, well, if you rolled initiative and you're willing to go after her,
Yeah.
then this will be like before this happens necessarily.
Yeah.
And she's going to come in and with a trip attack as you.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Misses. Rolling crap here. And she kind of like, you step out almost as you're like getting ready to start that tandem movement with Overnosa. And she's going to stand back up and try to just kind of give you a nice whack on the shoulder. Wow. Okay. In her zealousness, because that was a nat 1.
Holy shit.
She, like, why don't you, like, let's say in this moment, she's going to swing straight at you, but it's almost too straightforward.
Mhm.
And unexpecting this sort of tandem movement, you shift, and Overnoza just basically, like, blocks it with his own claw.
Yep.
And frustrated, she kind of takes a stance to defend.
Okay.
Go for it.
And we should probably talk about like how far we're willing to go here.
It's a regular spot, regular rules, go.
Okay. And he will go to this is kind of where the tandem movement will sort of kick in here, and he'll go to like kind of strafe, and as she's focused on him moving, Overnose is going to try to trip her up.
Ooh,
and,
okay.
And I'm gonna and at the same time causing an additional distraction, I'm gonna boost Eidolon, and you see the dragon scale that he's wearing on his necklace begin to sort of flash with this purple starlight, and it surrounds him and connects this and sort of doubles the aura that connects them both, tying into like the purple sort of flashes to silver, and we'll go ahead and attack.
Using your astral scale, I see.
Indeed. But
that is only a +1 to your AC.
Resistance 1 to to physical damage. Until the
end. Oh, you're right.
It's fine. But I didn't roll super well. But that's a 21 hit.
She parries it.
Okay.
Ready and kind of managing to keep an eye on the two of you.
Okay. And then goes in with a claw.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, lower. 19.
Okay. And she sort of just dances out of the way. And you do see now. You have probably done some sparring classes with her. I think she's definitely been a part of that. But you see her focused and moving in a very adept way, and you can't help but notice that she is quite adept at her movements. Like, she is skilled.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I can do math. Hold on.
One last thing. With my last action, I'll cast shield on myself.
Okay. 18.
Nope.
Okay. So
just ducks under it.
Goes again. No, I'm hero pointing that myself.
Sounds good.
$21.
With thankfully with shield cast, he felt to move out of the way, and the arcane shield blocks it, and he grins.
Ooh. She kind of like puffs out her nose, and takes a step back. And as she takes a step back, she's gonna try to fake you out with a last trip attack.
Okay.
Ooh. 25.
25.
Oh wait, no, that was multi-attack penalty.
10,
Hold
right?
on, sorry.
So 19.
Yeah. Oh,
nope.
Rude. Okay, never mind.
Thanks to shield. Nope.
And you can tell like she is not necessarily doing like full. She is trying to outstrength you in a way. She's being very blunt in her actions. She's not being very like tactic-y necessarily.
Sure.
Okay. Your turn.
Second verse, same as the first. Boost again and full round this time.
All right.
Nope. Actually, I'll hero point this one. Oh, cool. Natural 1. Awesome. So that did not do anything. Nat 4 to Nat 1. Lovely. And then...
It's good, it's good, it's good.
That's a 26 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
And then I'll just roll the last one, which is terrible. 19.
Okay, and that's with multiple attack penalty?
No, it's not. Which, I missed anyway, so I think, well...
Okay, and the second one... What did you do the second round? Was it a strike?
5?
Yeah.
It'd have been a 22. It'd have been a -4 because it's claws.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so at a 22, it's her AC basically. And so she meets beats. So she and it's this like intense, almost that same exact moment of like she was going to hit you, and it hit her, and it hit your arcade shield. In this moment, you were going to hit her, and she pushes it back just in like that instant, and it is this very equivalent back and forth. And that's how it sort of goes for a little bit.
Yeah.
This sort of like until you get an attack in, she gets an attack in.
Yeah.
And it's this very sort of back and forth until eventually she kind of like pushes off of you one at a time, and she just goes, I don't get it. We're matched. We're matched in skill. We're matched in diplomacy.
Yeah. I'm pretty blown away. This is good. This is good. Why are you upset?
Because
Rising
why
tides,
did
right?
you get advanced and I didn't?
Oh wow, that word travels fast. He kind of like thinks for a second, kind of leans on his staff for a minute. How many near-death experiences have you been in 9 months?
A few. I mean,
What's the last one?
I was in the tunnels with you, and
Yep. So tie game there.
oh, I don't know. Just
Well, let's run through mine. See right here, this is right where Kershkin tried to kill me with an arrow, right here. Then Stone Ghost tried to acid splash my fur off. So there's that. There is a
so it's just about how many
that-
near-death experiences you have compared to me. I've worked my ass off to be here.
Of course you have. And here's the thing. I say near-death experiences in jest, but it's probably the fact that we overcame those when maybe we shouldn't have. And in one case, we didn't.
She kind of just like plops down on the grass, and both of you are kind of like sweating at this point.
Yeah.
The
We'll sit
staff
down
is like
next
kind
to
of
her.
thrown to the side.
If it may not make you feel better, I am currently really struggling with the fact that whether I would have rather have the experience that I have or the experience that you have here at this school.
I mean, I don't know.
Here's the thing.
She's kind of like,
I was pretty upset until a couple days ago because I was just like, we saved the school, and like nobody seems to give a shit. We just went right back to where we were, back to school, no big deal. Not that we nearly, every ceremony has been near utter destruction. Not that we. Because we certainly didn't destroy Stone Ghost. We certainly didn't stop the Anati from getting killed by griffins. So what I'm trying to say is I can appreciate your frustration. I get it. I do.
yeah.
You're not the only one that's frustrated. And I'm not even talking about myself. Hell, some people are probably even jealous. So that's fun.
I mean, I'm jealous, but I just...
He gives her a smile. He goes, I know. I was referring to you.
It's just... Do you know the history of the school?
Depends on what you mean specifically. I've done my research, certainly.
I do. I've done my research as well. I've done deep research. I've interviewed people. I've done as much research as I could to show, look at me. I do my due diligence. Do you know all the teachers? Even the ones not on campus?
Some, and some of them don't really like me. One in particular.
I know the full teacher's roster. I memorized it all because I wanted
How does
to
that
impress
matter?
anybody that might come home. Because I want to get far and I want to make my mom proud.
I can super resonate with that. Because eventually I'm probably have a village I'm supposed to be running. Maybe.
Yeah.
If I want to. Have you not made them proud thus far? I mean, I saw them at the attendance ceremony. They certainly look proud.
Yes, but have you met Teacher Tahankot?
In passing.
That's my mother.
I could tell by the frown. The frown really is how I could tell.
She's just amazing. And she's super talented. She's a great teacher. I see you all running miles ahead of the rest of us, and I feel like in comparison I'm not doing good enough.
You know, even as perception-wise, as far as ahead as we are, I still feel like I'm not doing enough.
Well, if it helps from our side of things, she kind of waves to like the dorm, in
Yeah.
the direction of the dorm. Y'all are off doing wild and cool things while we're in class still.
You know, you could
So-
just ask to come with us. Because based off of just the mathematics, we're certainly going to run into more near-death experiences.
It's
Hell,
just not-
maybe one
everybody
day
has a
when...
cohort, and it just, do
Yeah,
things
but
that way.
everybody can come along. It's totally fine. More the merrier. As a matter of fact, I'm sure, you know what? Let's just call it an inevitability. One day when we're all working on the hand gliders, certainly there will be some strange earthquake or invasion, and that's your time to execute.
Certainly. It's just... I'm ready. Anything that happens wherever I'm around, I'm ready. I want to show them that. I don't know. I hear you and I appreciate the offer, but I don't want to ride your coattails. I don't want to be where you are and just be, oh, good job, you helped Hideaki and his cohort.
I think
I'm gonna make my name for myself. And
already
I will
are.
meet you there. Alright? At the top.
Of course. There's room for everybody. All of us. How many of us are there? 15? 12? Whatever.
See, I don't even know how many people are at the school right now. And he starts like going and listing off like some but it is a far milder
Yeah.
style, and this is more just Essie as you know her.
Yeah.
And she kind of brushes herself off as she kind of stands up and reaches a hand out to you while she's still kind of talking and helps you up.
Yep.
And kind of in the midst of the conversation, it's just like, let's get some food and
Yeah, protein.
and
But
sort of
as you
continue
start
on. Yeah.
walking off, do me a favor, or maybe actually it's more of a question. Do you have have you ever had something that's just been sitting sort of on your mind, in your gut, that you just can't let go of?
What do you mean?
Like, maybe someone has done you dirty, but like you don't really know what to do about it, but it's been so long that it's like might not even like be worth even talking about, because like, yay, victory, and so you just move. You got to move on.
I'm not sure, but it sounds like if something is still on your mind, it's still bothering you.
Yeah, I think you're right. Fuck. Okay. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Just gonna solve everything.
No pressure, right? She kind of jokes. Like,
Never. Okay, let's go.
And for slight time's sake, just because I'm wary of the clock, we will zoom out from here. You will have a few more days of earning income. I'm trying to make sure it's because it's a couple days. Where is it? And plus a couple days. You don't have to keep rolling. Where did that go? Spending. Okay. So we'll give you roughly about a week's worth of, if you kind of continue interspersing this, because I know it's 2 weeks of downtime, but we're doing other things, so I'll give you about like half of that. And so we'll do, you already had the first 8, right? You already took that down?
Correct.
I don't know what's balanced, so I'm just gonna do some quick math.
We love to see it.
Take additional 40 silver.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. With income earned, we turn. Ooh, that rhyme? I don't know. Anyways. To, last but not least, Arafe.
I'm not panic at all.
I'm not panic. So you too wanted to do some research by chance?
Yeah, so for her downtime, there's a couple minor things she's gonna do first. She's gonna go pick up ball bearings and rope from the shop.
Sure. You can get those at cost, absolutely.
Because reasons. And Arafe's actually going to start going and watching their morning training. Not participating, just watching, as she tries to learn things. And one thing I wanted to do before going into my research is, one day when she notices that Tal leaves their room, she is going to write a note and put it on top of 2 of her invites and put it underneath Tal's door. And essentially that's what it says is, I don't have many that I need by my side during the celebration, but I know how important your family is to you. Please take my extra invites to have more of your family and loved ones near you. And she's going to keep 1.
Amazing. Gosh, I don't want to ruin that touchingness. The invites in this regard, because of the time constraints, it is unlikely that anybody is coming from out of town, so to speak. But you are welcome to invite your fellow students. But that, yes,
to Tal.
it's. I was thinking, it's so sweet. It ruins it. Perfect.
Thanks, GM.
God.
I mean, but it honestly still stands. There's only one person Arafe would invite, so yeah, lots of friends. This one, friends
Okay.
to all, not many friends. But yeah, so then she wants to do some research on banishment and how banishment works.
I love it. We're gonna start with a roll here. So let's go with. Actually, let's look up banishment real quick. I believe. Okay, arcane, divine, occult, or primal. So honestly, whatever spell kind of tradition roll you'd like to roll.
Ooh, okay. So we'll list those off again. Oh, I guess she'd go, because of what her magic comes from, she'd go through divine?
Okay, so that would be a religion check probably?
Okay, yeah, that's probably better. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no. I don't have any hero points.
No.
So that will be a 13
Let me
with
give
my
her my hero
plus
point.
9.
You want to take her hero point? You want to give her a hero point?
Yeah, because you're probably not gonna let me roll it on my dancing anyway. So.
All right.
I was not going to say anything about that. I was like, yo, if you want to have no hero points, go for it.
I'm down. I'm down.
mean-
I'm giving it to Airfit.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So someone should give Waffles back.
No,
Unlucky.
okay.
Don't do it. Don't do it. He
Nah,
needs to fail.
nah, yeah.
That is much better. That's a 21.
Let's go.
Amazing. Okay. So you probably also, I mean, this is the type of research that you could do at the Archhorn Library if you so chose. You could also technically, I want to make sure I get it right. You could go to the Heron Archives where, like, the teacher office is, like, or at least Teacher Ott's office is, because they do also hold some sort of, like, other types of, like, knowledge sometimes there, but, wherever you choose to go, you start looking for this information. And you find the basics of the banishment spell. Interestingly, one of the things that you kind of you learn a lot about it in terms of it moves someone to another plane. Like mechanically, you know, it's a will save. You can look basically at the spell block because you get that information. With that 21, was it?
Yes.
Something particular stands out to you in all of your research, and you cross-reference it with like other versions of the spell. Like you look at like the way an arcane like banishment spell operates. You've looked at how it does in the occult aspect. You cross-reference your traditions. But the one thing that they all have in common is it targets one creature that isn't on its home plane. And that doesn't sit right with you.
Yeah. I guess one of the things she'd try to particularly pay attention to in that is, like, when it comes to banishment, do I decide where it goes? Or...
No, so it only targets a creature if it's not on its home plane, and it goes
in the
back
home.
to its home plane.
Okay, yeah, so that's definitely not going to. And I guess what I should ask is, because I have seen where the individual I am thinking about is, I'm just gonna outright ask it. She knows demons wouldn't go to the shadow plane, right?
Oh yes, that is, yeah. You put two and two together. You're like, I was told I banished a demon.
Mm-hmm.
They're not from the shadow plane.
Yeah. So because of that, I think she would move away from books and maybe try and go find someone to talk to about this.
Yeah. Anybody in particular you want to talk to?
I mean, I think her opinion is she should always talk to someone that she thinks might know the most, so she might actually seek out Janatimo.
Okay. So you go talk to Janatimo, one of those evenings after, and this research takes you a little bit again. Everything that we're talking about here at downtime is over the course of multiple days. So one of the after school, after your classes, you kind of head over to Janatimo's office, and kind of when he sees your face, he kind of looks behind you, expecting the rest of your crew. And when he doesn't see it, he goes, "Oh, can I help you with anything?"
Yeah, you are probably the smartest teacher I know.
Thank you.
And I was hoping to ask you some questions on something to see if you know.
Yes, of course. Come in. I'll
Um,
show you now.
And I mean, so as they walk in, she's like gonna kind of eye down at Yafira,
Mm-hmm.
who is, if anybody else is watching, much more active than she has been before. Because I have taken the clever shadow feat.
Ooh, that's so cool. I love it. Okay, good.
So she now can manipulate things.
I love this.
So I guess she'll just kind of sit down and say, so there's a story I've been told about my life, and things aren't adding up anymore.
Well, I love stories.
Long ago, I guess maybe not long ago, year or so now, I was told I banished a demon from our village. In doing so, they say I lost my powers and my memory. Is that something that can happen with that?
With traditional banishment? Unlikely.
Okay, I will be honest, I don't really know how I did it. I've just been told, and I don't remember that part.
But you know you did it.
They told me I did it.
Alright, so that's part of the story.
That's part of the story. And so I did lose my memory, and I've gotten bits and pieces back over the past few weeks, but I still don't remember that. But I seem to have a connection to this thing. And she's gonna look down at
I'm
her
not
shadow.
a thing.
You're not a thing to this person.
Janatimo like looks down and says, just kind of waves.
This is
Hello.
Yafira.
It's you.
Rin. Her
Yeah,
name is Rin.
I'm Rin.
Which I'm now realizing I have not told the group this yet. Rin is the one they told me I banished, but Rin's not in the right plane if she's a demon.
When you say like this is Rin and kind of introduce, Janatimo kind of like actually gets up around the desk and kind of like just squats down a little bit and like goes like reaches his hand out to shake her hand, which being able to interact, she does, and she kind of reaches out just like a shadow shakes hand with Janatimo, and he kind of stands back up and sits down. So let's see. And what he does is he kind of like goes into one of his books. These are more lore and storybooks, really. But I do have one on some demons. And thankfully it's a picture book. And he goes to kind of like flip through some of these. As I also pull something up. And
Derp's like, "Star, you're not asking the right questions."
no, you're doing great. That's not it at all. And he flips through like a couple stories on demons, and he pulls out a couple different books to show you. And you, in these like depictions, artistic depictions. Again, these are narrative stories about demons that he happened to have. There are sort of like sketches and drawings of like different demons, and they all look, well, demonic. Perhaps a little humanoid, but some have wings, some have horns, some have cloven hooves. You know, like these are all monstrous creatures to an extent. And you put together quickly what he's saying. These are the demons that I'm familiar with. She looks relatively humanoid to me.
That's the experience that I've had as well.
Have you seen her in any other form?
So just for Star's knowledge, I'm able to put two and two together about the connection between her and my memories, or...
No, you're able to put two together that, like, your story is that you banished a demon.
Yeah.
The demon's name is Renala.
Hmm.
The name of the demon, if this is the demon, is what you're assuming based on what you told Janatimo, then she would be a demon. And he's kind of showing you from his experience, demons don't look like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Humanoid.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. And so have you seen her, in any other form?
Once. I passed out and I made my, I don't know, mentally to the shadow plane.
Oh.
And she was there like wrapped in chains, so I have not seen her completely, but we did interact for a moment. It hurt, if I recall.
He just looked a little concerned at that. And what did she look like? What did you see? And we really just saw her hand.
Yeah, I just saw that like decrepit hand. So
you saw a pale hand,
Yeah.
and that as it grabbed onto you, started decaying.
Yeah. I just saw a hand. And the rest of her was wrapped in chains.
You said you've gotten some memories back recently.
Yes.
Do any figures appear in these memories?
I mean, I've seen my mother, I've seen my Nibby, I've seen myself, oddly enough.
What do you mean you've seen yourself?
So in some of these memories that I've had, I've seen me as if I'm looking at myself from someone else's point of view.
Ooh,
And then I
this is a
also
mystery.
saw someone that looks similar to me, but I don't know who they are.
Mm.
Is that concerning?
No. My concern is with you. My concern is that I don't want to cause you any harm. Something has clearly happened that has messed with your memories. Unfortunately, that can lead to messiness. And if I conjecture to you too quickly, to your brain's capability of putting those pieces together for yourself, it may cause you psychic harm, and that is my concern. I feel
That
like
explains a little bit.
you have a lot of answers at your fingertips that just need to place the puzzle pieces together. I will
guess
say, however, I don't believe this is a cause of banishment.
Okay, so then my question of how do I undo it probably isn't easy.
That might perhaps take some more. And as he kind of like in that exact moment, the door like kind of like slams open, and you hear a voice call out, "Janatimo!" And both turn to look, and what you see first is a familiar angelic figure enter the room, followed by a tiny elfin woman that you know as Teacher Lissetti. And as they both filter in, she goes, "Janatimo, Oh. I'm so sorry, I did not mean to interrupt.
It's fine.
I simply needed this one for our ritual we were going to. Is now not a good time. I know
I
this
can
is not her
always
voice, and I can't
Come back.
remember it.
That's fine. I can always come back later. It seems like it's not something that can be solved this evening. So,
I believe though, before you go, that congratulations are in order.
Oh, thank you.
Janatimo here has told me of your quick advancement.
We've worked fairly hard, and nice to see it's being seen, even if we're kind of falling into it.
I think it may feel like you're falling into it, but what I've seen from you is correct. You have more feet under you than you realize.
I'm trying.
Do you still have the same concerns you came to me earlier with?
Star is now blanking on what the concerns I had with her were.
The GM hopes the player remembered because she vaguely. But I recall that you went when you skipped class and you went to teacher Lissetti. She did offer you office hours, but I believe it was because you were looking.
I wanted to learn her stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like she seemed like she was able to, in terms of taking care of people. I think you came to her with something about
That's what
like
it was. Yeah.
wanting to take care of people. Yeah.
Characters remember, players don't. It was ages ago.
It really was.
I am still working on it, but getting better. No
Well-
one's died.
That is good. Since you will soon be conversant after your ceremony, come see me. I will have a task for you.
Absolutely.
I think you are more than up for the challenge. You strike me as a talented type.
I hope so. Is this something you'd like my whole group to do, or?
Yes, I think you could.
Okay.
Well, they could probably use your help, but it'll work.
I have to admit, I don't feel like there's a lot we can do separately right now. But that's part of knowing your weaknesses, right? Surrounding
Yes,
yourself
but-
with people who feel that.
I meant to ask you, but it felt rude. What is your deal? And as she points to you, and in synchronicity, the angel figure points to the shadow at your feet. So in one motion, the two of them point to each of you.
We are trying to figure that out, to be completely honest. Well. And she kind of looks at Janatimo, kind of looks like, okay, here we go again.
And Janatimo actually will kind of step forward and succinctly kind of explain to her that, well, this figure, for all intents, and the way Janatimo explains the situation is actually does not talk about your memories and your perceived reality at all, and actually says the facts at hand, which is, and I'm gonna say it to you too, so almost so that Arafe can recognize
Process.
what pieces are in front of her right now.
Mm-hmm.
This figure points down to the shadow, is currently trapped in the shadow plane. Do not believe that is due to banishment, as that has been ruled out. The figure is unlikely to be a demon. And for that piece to be incorrect would imply that perhaps nothing can be taken for granted. So, a figure, humanoid, is trapped. And Arafe here is looking for a way to undo it. The Lissetti kind of like kneels down, perhaps a little rudely, runs her hand like on the shadow to touch like the floor basically, and it's like Renala's like shin or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? And like looks up to the angel. The angel does not really move, and nor it is unique. This figure is bright, kind of like shedding light in its own space, just by existence. Its wings kind of tucked down to not to fit in this space, and it does not move. And Lissetti kind of like hums. Well, I see. Interesting. Well,
What's interesting?
It looks to be intertwined with you on a level. If it's in the shadow plane, then it is unlikely to be here. For it to be here, connected to your shadow, implies a connection to you.
Yeah.
I'd look at imprisonment.
Imprisonment. How is that different than banish? Is it like a banishment? I mean, I know I have to research it, but
She kind of nods. We can talk about it. I'll gather some books if I can find them, but I'm sure the Arctron library has more.
that sounds wonderful.
It is as it sounds. It sounds like she is imprisoned.
So, and she's now, as she's thinking back on this information, so I actually have released one shackle.
That would be impossible.
No, I did one.
Did you do the banishment? She kind of air quotes banishment.
I don't know. They tell me that I did, but I don't know. And I have to admit at this point I don't know if anything I've been told is real.
Okay. The imprisonment spell ritual is one of mass amounts of power. Janatimo kind of chimes in here as they kind of start brainstorming a little bit together. She did say she was told she was more powerful before this. Like Lissetti shakes her head. Not that powerful. This was... For a girl so young, not that powerful. And they kind of like start wondering together. No, I don't think so. I think somebody else did this. But it is tied to you in some fashion, so you affected it in some fashion. Or she is connected to you in some other way. In the end, if you were able to impact a chain of this imprisonment, then you have some influence on the spell. Whatever that means and whatever that implies to her intertwinement with yours.
Okay.
It's
will
good
have-
news.
Yeah, I mean, it's a direction. It's more than I've had in a really long time. I think I have a chieftain to harass and get some questions answered.
Well,
thank you.
good luck.
I do really appreciate it. But I will also get out of your hair because I know you have things to do. So,
Yes, Janatimo, the ritual.
thank
And,
you so
he's
much.
like, yes, of course. And so
she'll
they kind of like,
gracefully bow out.
yeah, and it's like awkward shuffle because it's not a big space. And yeah. You
There's
quickly-
3 of us and an angel in there.
And so with that, you kind of you have a couple more things to research in your future, with something new called imprisonment, which perhaps you hadn't heard of before, And from there, I think we will zoom back out to one last moment of downtime. Arc dancing.
Yeah! Break it down, Ark.
So, Arc.
What's up?
Arc 2.
What's up?
You have a performance to perform.
That's true.
Yaki, give him your hero point so we are completely depleted by the end of this.
Absolutely not.
Yes. I will
Unless
say
he tells me that we're rivals, then I'll give it to him.
Well, no hero
the
point for
three
you.
of you, the three of you, find out when this performance is happening for sure, and make your way there. And of course, it is going to be in the Elephant Museum, where a lot of the Uzunjanti professors are. They have some stages and other classrooms there. This is not a big performance. They have larger ones throughout the year, but this is absolutely one of those. Yes, it's happening in Theater 3, in the Elephant Museum, 7 p.m. tonight. Come whoever wants to, kind of a deal. So, it is the time. The way this works is that in this particular storytelling dance, it is a sort of like chain of individuals that you have moments where you're with the group. Let's begin. And as everybody moves back, it kind of circles and cycles through each person in its own little solo. So, go ahead as you all watch Arc 2 on stage. Perform. You want to roll me a performance check?
Sure.
How far away from... Never mind.
You're asking if we do guidance?
Nope.
10. A 12
about to
for
do
a
some stuff.
10.
Oh no.
You all now watch the movements with music in tow. And this is not that abnormal for there to be grading of your students involved after these performances, because these are still intertwined with school activities. So the moments where it's the group at the beginning, you see Ark do the movements in tandem with everybody else. He does them fine. And in the group, it almost blends in. He doesn't stand out. He seems to be doing totally fine. When it's time for the solo, you said 10, right?
10.
Okay.
The natural 12 for a 10.
You see the same movements that he did for you all in the dining hall. And it's not that the movements are worse, but you almost see, especially as he goes kind of near the midst, you see some students go before him that are passionate into it, and some that the moves are not as crisp, but they're in it emotionally. They're doing their best. And then Ark comes on stage, and paired with the music and paired in comparison to all of these individuals and other students that are lost in the story, he stands out like a sore thumb. But he does the moves.
I think
And
the
eventually-
other two, because I think Tal is
Yeah. sitting
probably between these two, you'll just hear not like an audible, like out of the mouth sigh, but just like a sigh through the nose, like a deep,
Nose huff.
yeah, like an exhale of like disappointment, but only because they literally told Ark that this is going to happen. But they can't
Amazing.
tell Ark why.
The performance comes to a close, with claps and everything, and they're not normally graded publicly. It's graded after the performance. It's not going to be rude to be in front of everybody. But as most people shuffle out, you do know that Janatimo hangs back, and you catch him there, and you are all welcome to stay back as well as you wait for Ark. As the teacher comes out, with a last little like congratulations, you know, all that. I'll have your grades. Further discussion can happen tomorrow. I don't want anybody to be disheartened. I think it went very well, but here are all your individual grades as she kind of like begins to hand them out. And Ark, you get the equivalent of a C-.
Art kind of almost like looks at it, immediately registers it, and says, "Are you sure this is mine?"
Yes.
Further discussion tomorrow.
Well, you're not really in my class, so I can talk with you now if you'd like to. Go on, you know, get some water. Like, kind of lets everybody else go off.
So you graded me like I was not in your class.
No, I graded you like everybody else.
And since I didn't do it the way you exactly said, it was bad.
No, you didn't make it your own.
He's like peering at her a little bit. But the overarching dance went well.
The moves your body made were the moves I taught. That is not the dance.
Sure.
And she kind of like will nod. And you see Janatimo kind of like waiting like by the exit. Well,
I did it and passed.
yes, but did you excel?
I believe so.
Behind Arc 2, Hideaki just goes, nope.
Depends what your interpretation of excel is.
Janatimo
C-
chuckles
excelling?
C- is one person's opinion of myself.
One that matters.
If I didn't make it my own, which is why I got a C-, then why was it so different?
Janatimo puts a hand on your shoulder. Perhaps some help from your friends would get that figured out.
You just hear the lightest, "We're not as friends."
I think Tal just like
With
very
a-
lightly just
with a
taps
giggle.
on your shoulder with like the back of their paw and just says shh.
It is said with
And-
sarcasm.
Totally.
I think maybe I will rephrase what Janatimo said. Maybe some help from friends, like, and because that's what I meant to imply.
No,
Okay, got it.
Sure. Ark will give him a little like half bow, like acknowledgement, and very seldom to when Ark has like made mistakes in the past, or like because he's made like some small mistakes and stuff. He is, despite whatever conversations continue after this, he is pretty adamant that he did this well in his own eyes.
Oh yeah. To the surprise of
And-
no one here.
I think with that, as you kind of head out of the theater, we will end tonight
Yeah.
and
Fuck yeah.
return next session for chapter 2 of book 2.
Let's go.
We finally
We
did
fucking did it.
That's
Yes.
next.
So,
many-
as
That's next.
I recall,
Thursday, right?
our next
That's
section is
next
next
week.